Update video. Excellent. Right, post those fucking messages. One of these. Laggy computer, one of those. Get out of my face, and stream. Excellent. We're all good. And you know what? Instead of wasting time, let's start SoulSilver up straight away. DS Shiny.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, everything that I do is a good plan. I say, having forgotten to load up the fucking death counter. Let's go open that real quick. I just realised as I started the game, I clicked onto the game screen to get it to start going, and then I looked at it again and I was like, wait a minute, my death counter's not here. Or my stream counter isn't here.
Please God. I love your message. Please God, give us some luck, we're dying here.
Well, we are, that's the thing. Like, it's not even like I'm lying.
Yeah, no,
we are dying.
We are.
There is death occurring. So I have a standing guess from somebody for 1080 as my shiny, so...
Oh God.
I think it was Azir? I can't remember.
Monty said 1746 for me, and you're mean.
Yes, I am. This is indeed correct. I am a horrible person. I really hope that the game audio isn't too loud for Kali.
24... 24 something from you?
Yeah, 2467 I think I said, or something like that. It was pretty fucking high. I thought it was reasonable considering the odds.
I can check the game audio for you.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You can check audio compared to your voice. I probably should think about that before I start streaming next time, but oh well. As we all are aware, I don't think of things.
No, fair.
Please.
Stop talking for a second so I can catch up to the audio in the... Oh yeah, no, we're fine.
Okay, that's good. I need a cough. Oh god, there's biscuit crumbs. So fun fact, apparently speed eating a cookie was a bad idea. Anyway, hi Posse, hi Eon. Holy crap, Eon. Welcome to the party of doom.
Here.
Yeah, Eon is here. Welcome to hell.
Oh yeah. Welcome to hell. This is gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, well, it's still a nightmare. It's just a continuation of one. I'm half tempted to open my window, but I live on a main road and there's idiots. So I probably shouldn't do that because I'm well aware that I'll probably get at least one ambulance go past. But I'm so tempted to open my window because it is warm in this room. It's like on the one hand, boiling to death. On the other hand, loud friggin' sounds from the outside world.
No, open the window. You'll be fine.
But yeah, hey Ian, it's good to see you. I know that I don't stream at a time that is very good for like 80% of America, and that's usually due to the fact that the days that I want to stream, people are streaming at that time and I want to watch. So I just don't stream instead. But yeah, this is a decent time actually for stuff like that, so it works. And it means I get to bring in Kali on the torment so we can have a nice conversation rather than just killing ourselves in mostly silence.
I don't know. I mean, when I don't have anyone to talk to and I'm just talking at the chat, we end up with some interesting conversations.
Let's not bring that one back up.
No, I'm not.
I know it was partly my fault, but
yesterday was fun.
I didn't see yesterday because it was like midnight, or actually no, it wasn't. I think it was about 10 PM, but I'd gone to bed. I think.
Pix, you were there the entire time.
Yeah, okay. My brain is gone, apparently. Shit, was that yesterday?
Yeah,
oh yeah, because I was busy getting fucking lost in Ace Attorney. That was what was going on. And yeah, I'm well aware it's 1 PM on the East Coast. It's why we organised this with Kali. It's because I was talking to Kali last night and we set that up. And yeah, now I remember this. I remember this around the situation of the fact that we got really stuck in the Ace Attorney stream. But you know, Jesus wept.
Good morning, Pix.
It's friggin' 6 PM. Well,
nice
5
to
to
see your
6,
brain
but whatever.
functioning.
This is approximately my morning brain. This is what I'm like when I have to start classes at 9 in the morning, except I usually am speaking less, so it's just all of the stupidity is internal. But yeah, this is approximately the correct amount of stupid that you get. Hey, Fail Knight.
Poor Pix.
Poor me indeed. Also, I'm coming to the conclusion, having just remembered what my fucking timetable for next week's classes looks like, I'm coming to the conclusion that what I should really start doing is using my Saturdays to do my friggin' work for Thursdays, because I don't have the time otherwise, basically, to do it. Anyway, hi Care, hi Carmen, welcome to hell, where Pix is a friggin' idiot, apparently.
I refuse.
Well, you can refuse all you like, because I'm gonna believe it.
Well, that's
That
some
was
bullshit.
so dumb.
I will withhold cookies until you stop believing that.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
can't actually enforce that. But
Yeah. Oh, speaking of cookies, something that has nothing to do with cookies, but, well, actually, it kind of does. We have mini egg chocolate downstairs. Like, straight up like a dairy milk chocolate bar, like one of the big ones, but it's mini eggs, apparently. I have no fucking clue where this came from, but it has appeared in the chocolate box downstairs, and I'm very tempted to just eat all of it. Because it's like,
Wait,
that
you guys
sounds
have
incredible.
a chocolate box?
Yes, well, we technically have two. We have one that sits in the kitchen cupboard, and then one that sits in the living room. But currently, because the thing is the kitchen cupboard one basically would only get used for, like, school snacks. See you, Ian.
Bye, Ian.
Yeah, it would pretty much only get used for school snacks, and obviously we're not currently at school. So I've been using it for, like, dinner food, but it basically has got relocated to the living room. And this is basically only a thing, like, post-Christmas and post-Easter, mostly. The living room one, because it's just, we have so much friggin' chocolate. But it's also where the cookies are currently. But, yeah, it's, like, straight up, like a chocolate bar. And it's mini eggs, apparently, and I've not eaten it. I'm contemplating having some, probably on Monday, between my classes. I'm probably going to get some of it on Monday, because that sounds incredible, and I'm very curious. But, like, yeah, it's absurd, apparently, and that's a thing that we have in the box downstairs. So,
That just sounds delicious, actually.
yeah, it does sound really interesting. It's like, ooh. But
Damn
yeah,
it, I
it's
want
been sitting there. It's been sitting there for a while, apparently, and I've just not noticed it because it's been underneath the other things, I guess, and it's just like, yeah, there's chocolate there.
Oh, I just realized.
Mm-hmm.
Not Easter candy, Valentine's Day chocolate is
Oh.
a thing that's already out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ooh, excellent.
Do you?
I don't do
so it's gonna
Valentine's
be
Day,
cheap
but, you know.
chocolate day in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know, it's great. That's the only reason I do Valentine's, honestly. Like,
Right, cheap chocolate day is the day after, so you
Yeah,
gotta do
like-
Valentine's.
well, here's the thing. My mum's birthday is actually right before Valentine's as well, so it's like I'm more
excellent.
interested in celebrating the fact that my mum's birthday is coming up than the whole fucking romance holiday that I don't get involved with. So it's like, yeah, no,
the
just
romance
chocolate.
holiday is annoying.
Yeah, fuck
Just-
the holiday. I want the cheap ass chocolate the next day, thank you.
Exactly.
Like Feb 15th is the true holiday here.
Exactly.
That's also, I think, about when I'm supposed to be going back to uni, actually. Or that I think that's when the you don't have to pay rent for your room thing is stopping. I don't think I'm actually going back till the very end of Feb, but that's like a 2 weeks later, so who gives a shit? And I need to get some
Yeah,
fucking
exactly
COVID
right,
tests.
Buffy.
Yeah, exactly. Just fuck Valentine's Day. It's so dumb.
Fuck
I don't know why.
Valentine's Day. Pix is right, the true holiday is the day after.
Yeah.
Because then you can get the big ass heart shaped boxes of variety chocolates.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
it's
know
great.
how good some of those truffles are.
Yeah, it's like excellent.
God, I love truffles.
Truffles are good. We have some
Or,
like really weird truffles downstairs. Most of them are slightly alcoholic, and it's great. And it's like, but it's
Aw,
like
man.
it's like the weird alcohol some of them are, and it's like, why? I couldn't tell you what's down there, but there's definitely some strange ass flavors of chocolate in that box.
I'm pretty sure Valentine's Day was invented to take the place of Beltane.
Probably.
Wait, is it Beltane that's the spring equinox?
I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think so. My knowledge of this comes from the fucking Harry Potter fics that use that as an excuse for orgies. But yeah, so
Yeah, no, that's...
so don't completely quote me on that one because my knowledge is not necessarily accurate. But you know, pretty sure we're right there.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Also, you know what's great? I sat down today with my notepad, and I was like, okay, I should probably think out my teams a bit. And then I literally did 3 for Chikorita, well, up to the 4th gym for Chikorita, because obviously the beasts. And then I just did the first 2 for the other 2, and was like, I can't be bothered to think about this right now, and just put it away.
That's completely fair. Oh no, God, no, stop it. I don't want the non-shiny Chikorita. Stop it.
We don't want the non-shiny Chikorita, you are quite right. Not only is it non-shiny, it is Chikorita. And no offense to Chikorita, but Jesus Christ, guys.
But it's Chikorita.
Yeah, no offense, but you're bad. But yeah, it's great because it's like Chikorita's quite fleshed out because it's like Chikorita, Zubat, Slowpoke, and then whichever beast because it doesn't matter because of the types. And then Totodile is like Totodile, Zubat, incredible amounts of error, one of the beasts, and then Cyndaquil is just Cyndaquil and then Slowpoke and then error and then beasts. And I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Totodile, you should definitely try to get that Mareep.
Yeah, getting that Mareep is probably a good idea, actually. I might do that. I'll probably do that for 3rd gym, thinking about it. Actually,
yeah,
I
because,
might
I mean,
do...
that one is that egg guy.
Yeah, it's the egg guy. To be fair, if I get Cyndaquil, I might do Wooper from the egg, thinking about it. Because it gives me a decent ground type as well, which is not something that there are that many of in this game.
I have
And also
never
a decent...
liked Wooper or Quagsire.
Yeah, they're not necessarily brilliant, but they're decent bulky waters. Like, they're not like Suicune levels of bulky water, and obviously the 4 times grass sweetness doesn't make them great, but they're at least, like, reasonable, and they've got an okay moveset from memory. Or at least I know they do in Colosseum. So I think they do in this game as well, just because of the splits and stuff. I think they're okay. But yeah, it's a decent enough Pokemon. Like I say, it's a decent bulky water, which is something that we are going to be lacking unless you want to do Suicune resets, really. Because there's not that many good bulky waters in this game from my memory.
I might do Suicune resets because shiny Suicune would be...
Shiny Suicune is a blessing, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
I don't think I've ever even seen a shiny Suicune.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm slightly pissed off that in Pokemon Shield I caught Suicune and like kept it, because I could have shiny hunted that with the raid dens, and then but I caught it, so you can't catch them again. So I fucked that up, which means basically my Suicune chances are finding it in the Ultra Wormholes in Gen 7, or doing it in Gen 4, like we are here. So, yeah, not the greatest situation for me to be in, but whatever.
One day, I am going to have Pokemon Sword or Shield, and at that point we should do something similar to this.
Yeah, we should do a race for that. That'd be friggin' amazing. I'll reset my Sword game and we can do it there. We won't be able to do anything with the DLCs, but we can certainly do it with a bit of fun. It's not like to be honest, literally the only thing I have Sword for at the minute is because I'm using it as a dispenser for my living dex. Because I need room for my living dex, and I don't have the upgraded Pokemon Home because I keep forgetting I need to do that. So, yeah. Oh yeah, there is always Callie's birthday. God help us, Bossy.
Jesus fucking Christ. No, there's not. My birthday doesn't exist.
Excellent.
No, my birthday 100% does not exist.
Yeah. Also, the other good thing about possibly getting the upgraded Pokemon Home, though, is I could use that with my old game and get the rest of my living dex, so I didn't have to do much of it. But I'm still going to be getting my main living dex built up so that I have all of the 8th gen.
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't Sword and Shield not, like, straight up not allow you to transfer past Pokemon up?
Yeah, you need, because it's switched to, it's 3DS to Switch, so you have to use the mobile app, I think, to do it. It's a bit weird from what I recall, but I still need to actually sit down and pay for that. Hi Van, welcome to Lurkville. That's, honestly, Lurks are perfectly fine considering that this is not exactly the most interesting of gameplay. If you wanted interesting gameplay, please God go anywhere else. I wouldn't even blame you. Like, I wouldn't even blame you for
The only thing of interest here is watching us lose our minds.
Yeah.
Or listening to us lose our minds. That's the only thing of interest here.
And talking about fucking cursed games and shit, apparently, because
Okay.
or at least that's what starts happening at like the hour and a half mark. That's about when that happens, I think.
Or like anywhere between the 45-minute mark and the hour and a half mark is where cursed shit starts coming up.
Yeah, usually. Although to be fair, mine happened right at the end of the stream last week, so possibly.
I missed that one. It upsets me.
Yeah, all that it was the well, I mean last Saturday. Wednesday was chill actually when I streamed on Wednesday because we did like an hour of resets and then we fucked off to go play Pokemon Blue Rescue Team instead because we were that bored. So I am that sick of playing it. I am going to stop mid-stream to go and change games.
I think I actually was around for that then.
Yeah, it was just like midday-ish my time, so you might have been. But yeah, literally, I got so bored, I fucking stopped. Like, I paused my recording mid-stream, sat my ass down and went and downloaded the ROM for a game that I don't have at the minute so I could go and play it because I was that fucking fed up with doing these resets. And then we played an hour of that.
Legit. It was your totally legit copy of that game, right?
Yeah, sorry, totally legit copy of the game that I had to get rigged up ready to stream. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, that's like the only reason I wasn't doing reading aloud for that stream was literally just because I could not be bothered after doing an hour of resets. I think if I'd have started with Pokemon Blue Rescue Team and then gone on to this, I might have been doing the reading, but I was that friggin' fed up with my life after doing an hour of the resets that I was just like, I'm just gonna start playing the game, thank you. We'll just, if you really want to see the text, please look it up on YouTube or play it yourself. I'm not sitting here doing the dialogue.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I only, like, for Dragon Quest Builders, I only read, like, half the dialogue anyway, because I honestly, like, the storyline is cool and all, but I don't care because I just want to build shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I probably would care more, like, because I'm not going to be doing the dialogue in this game either, but I'm going to try and go slowly enough at least that you get a slight chance to read it for the plot stuff. And, like, it'll be the same with with Blue Rescue Team. I keep going to say Red Rescue Team. That's not the one I'm playing. I don't know why I keep going with that one. But, like, with Blue Rescue Team, I'll probably do the same, in that I'll go slowly enough that you can get, like, the main idea of the plot. But I've already played it. If you really want to know the plot, I can spoil the entire thing very quickly. Or I can summarise it, so it's like, I'll just play the game. You get to watch me get pissed off at the dungeons. That's pretty much all this is. Oh, you also get to watch me forget what my buttons are. That's another thing.
Yeah, forgetting where the buttons are is kind of like a time-honored tradition.
Yeah, because that's the thing, like, it's L and A for the shortcut for quick move and stuff. So like the registered moves or whatever. Yeah, and I kept forgetting I didn't remember what the fuck the L button was. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to go into the menu every time I want to use an attack, aren't I? Because I don't remember what the keys are.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's kind of great. Yeah, we really are doing a record player thing right now. Like, Jesus, we are just spinning in circles. On the plus side, whoever the hell called 1080 better be fucking right. I don't remember who that is. It
might have been.
Yeah, it was either Azure, Euro, or Fail Knight, I think, because I remember those three names giving me guesses for things. But
might have been Fail Knight.
One of those was $9.99, and I know I didn't get that, so.
Yeah.
Wasn't you? Oh yeah, were you the $9.99 one then, Fail? Because I think if so, yeah, you were $9.99, so it was Azure, I think, that gave me $10.80. And then I don't actually recall what you might have said, Kali, but at this point...
I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, I remember there was a joke being made at like 800 or something, but... At this point we're all going a bit crazy anyway, so who cares? What are you at, by the way? You're at like 1600?
I'm at 1706 now.
1706, okay. So I was close. So yeah, we're not that far apart from each other, really. Considering that you're doing it in more time than me.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely doing it longer than you are.
Yeah. I'm half tempted to get my goddamn controller and figure out the goddamn controller setup for this, because it would at least make it a bit easier to do the buttons. But I'm really lazy and don't feel like figuring out how it links up to Des, so I'm not doing it. We'll just, besides, I'll still have to use the keyboard for the sake of the button prompt of, going up on the counter anyway, so it's not like it matters that much.
Well, I'm using a controller, and then I've just got my keyboard for the reset button and the go up on the thing, so it's not actually that bad.
Yeah. Ow. Yeah. I'll figure it out eventually, but it's getting, like, the thing to actually connect, which would be a pain in my backside, and I don't feel like messing with it at the minute, so I'm just not gonna. Story of my life.
Nah, that's fair.
Who needs effort when you could just do it the annoying way?
After a certain point it becomes too annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess.
Yeah, like this goddamn music.
Oh god, this music is
I feel like we complain a lot about the music, but like genuinely, it's kind of sickening after a bit, and I think that bit crosses about 10 minutes in.
There's only so many times you can hear the first few bars of this fucking song.
I know, isn't it great?
No!
I'm absolutely playing the Explorers of Sky soundtrack next time I stream. That'll probably be Wednesday, depending on how much classwork I have to do this week, but I'm definitely playing the Explorers of Sky soundtrack over this fucking game. I'm just gonna mute my goddamn headphones, and we're gonna play something else. Or like, I'm gonna mute the console, and I'm just gonna play something fucking else over the top. Because God help us all. And then just hope I don't get any adverts in the middle of it, because I'm playing it through YouTube, but... price I'm willing to pay to not have to listen to this. It's 6 hours worth of one of the best soundtracks I've ever had the honour of listening to, so...
I would be like half tempted to play like the Art and Alico soundtrack because god damn, that is some good music.
Okay, we've got another prediction of four ones. Excellent. So again,
Excellent.
One of you fuckers better be right because I want out of this bloody area, please.
If she gets it at 4 ones, I am going to cry.
Yeah, honestly, I might as well. Just tears of joy of getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, tears of joy for you, tears of envy for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I would not actually be sorry, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know. That's fair.
Oh, we got
Kev says 1892.
Yeah, I was about to say, we got 1892. Now, who was that one aimed at? That's the real question, because both of us have that as an option.
Oh, Christ. Please don't be me.
1892 is really close for you. What the fuck do you mean, please don't be me?
Well, because that means that I didn't get it at 1764 or whatever it was.
Yeah, but it's still closer than my guess of like 24,000.
Okay,
Or 2,400
yeah,
rather. 24, whatever the fuck I said. 2470 something.
24 something.
Yeah, 2470 something. I'd look it up if I gave more of a shit than that, but at this point.
I do not.
Yeah.
Enough of a shit to look it up.
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, that's pretty decent odds considering that we're working at... Well, you're working at 1 in 2. For me, it'd be really good odds because I'm working at 1 in 3. For you, it's just decent because you're basically at half odds. That's not how it works, but...
It's not.
We can pretend.
It's still just 1 out of 8,000, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but you have 2 chances instead. So, I have 3.
2 out of 8,000 and whatever.
Yeah, which simplified down is not bad. Whereas mine simplified down from 3 in 8,000 whatever the fuck is very not bad. All things considered.
Yeah. All things considered.
You'd think I'd know what those numbers were, by the way.
1066.
Yeah, you'd think I'd know what those numbers are, by the way, but clearly not.
Nah.
It's like, yeah, eventually I might actually remember. It's quite funny though, because I did originally know those numbers off by heart. But then
yeah,
fucking...
but you've been playing Sword and Shield with altered odds.
Yeah, I was about to say, I knew it off by heart at one point, and then fucking X and Y came out with the lowered odds, and I was like, I don't know this. Although, to be fair, I say that like I was actually a proper shiny hunter before those games came out. No, X and Y were the first time I really started doing shiny hunting, and that was because I found a fucking random Hippopotas. I think I traded that for a Garbodor at one point via a friend. Like, I gave my friend the Hippopotas, and they traded it for the Garbodor and sent it back to me.
Excellent.
Then again, this was the same friend that used to do the fucking Mew scam, so, you know.
The what?
Oh yeah, of course, you didn't play fucking Gen 6, you didn't know about that. Okay, so there was a thing that we would do, or that people would do in Gen 6, which is you'd nickname the Pokemon saying like, I'll trade 3 shinies for a Mew, trade 2 of the shinies, and then they'd reset their console, and they'd keep the 2 shinies that they got, because of the trades. And there were people that would do that all over the fucking place, and it wasn't necessarily always a Mew, but Mew was the most common. So they'd do it for like different legendaries, like and they'd like actually have the legendary to like prove it, because people wouldn't obviously accept it after the thing kind of got out there a bit. But like, so they'd like show up and it's like, I'll do 3 shinies for Mew, do a Mew on the last trade. They'd show the Mew to prove that they have the Mew, do 2 shiny trades, and then turn the console off and just steal the fucking shinies out of it. And I was like, I have a friend.
Dick move.
Yeah, and this is one of my fucking friends that's doing this, and I'm sitting here looking at him like, you're a piece of shit. Are you aware of this? And he's like, yeah, I'm absolutely aware that I'm a piece of shit, but I've got 3 shinies, and I'm like,
That's such a dick move.
Hell yeah, it was.
No,
it's
I
like,
still don't want
jeez.
Chikorita. Fuck off.
That is like the most common thing going on. It's like, I really promise that I don't want this Chikorita.
You know, I'm kind of wondering if maybe the Chikorita and the Cyndaquil heard me say that Totodile was a piece of shit.
And now they're conspiring against you.
punishing me.
And why was it even a thing? I don't know, because people are assholes. But yeah, like, because it essentially would save the game, like, your game data after every trade, which meant that you could trade for 2 shinies, close the game off, and you'd keep those shinies because the game data had been saved. And it was like, yeah, sure. You didn't even necessarily have to turn the game off, actually. You could just turn the Wi-Fi off if you had a... If you didn't have a 2DS, you could just turn the Wi-Fi off. Because I don't think you can turn the Wi-Fi off on the 2DS from what I can remember, where you can on the 3. But yeah, if you were doing it on a 3DS, you just turn the Wi-Fi off and it would do the same thing, because it would just cause an error to occur and you just switch off, and then you just have to hope to God that they don't try and get you back. And it was like, you're a fucking horrible human being.
That's such a load of crap.
Gen 6 was fucking toxic as hell for many reasons. That is one of them. The other reason is the entire saturation of Wonder Trade with 1 hacked Pokemon and 2 fucking Bunnelby. God, it's everywhere. Don't ever do a fucking Wonderlock in Gen 6. 80% of your team will be made up of Diggersby. I'm not speaking from experience, I promise. Most of my team was
I have no idea
Diggersby.
what you're even talking about. I don't know the fucking...
Okay,
I've never played Gen 6. Ah.
Yes, okay, Wonderlock is basically a challenge mode. So you know there's the thing called Wonder Trade?
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally, it's just a Nuzlocke, but you use the Wonder Trade. So you go onto a route, you catch a Pokemon, you Wonder Trade it, and whatever you get back, you use. Now you see, sometimes this was really good, because you could get level 100 Kyogre. Other times you'd be 80% Bunnelby. Or Bidoof.
God.
Or on one occasion, 3 Fledgling in a row. Because I eventually got so sick of having my team be mostly Bunnelby or Bidoof that I was like, fuck it, if I get the same thing, I'm retrading it. And then I got 3 Fledgling, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I guess we're using the Fledgling. Like, I know I already have one, but I'm doing it anyway. Oh yeah, level 1 Magikarp, that's another one that was appearing quite often. You'd mostly get Breedject, basically. I attempted to temper that out a bit by breeding a shit ton of, like, Protean Froakie, like hidden ability Froakie, once I had the access to one of those, and I basically just, like, I literally did, like, 3 boxes, bombed them out into Wonder Trade. Also, 180 was a no. Yeah, I did it for, I've done that for a couple of hidden ability Pokemon, actually, in 6th and 7th gen. I had Contrary Snivy, Protean Froakie, some Gale Wings, Fledgling. Basically anything that was halfway decent in competitive, if I had the hidden ability of it, I banged out 2 boxes or so and hit them in the Wonder Trade. Speed Boost Torchic. If you ever meet one of those, there's a distinct possibility that the parent was one of mine at some point. Because I did like 3 boxes of those from the event Blaziken that you could get when the games came out.
Mm-hmm.
Or the event Mega Blaziken that came out, like that fucker. Yeah, I took that, bred out like 3 boxes of the things, stuck them in the Wonder Trade. So there's a distinct possibility that some of the competitive Torchic out there in the world right now are partly my fault.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself for that. Some of my legacy is this shit, and it's great. I have a shiny Contrary Snivy as well, and like most of its siblings got sent to the Wonder Trade boxes. Because that was like, it was partly what I was doing, like partly it was a shiny hunt, and partly it was let's just get a ton of friggin' hidden ability Pokemon that are decent for competitive and throw them out into the world. We'll see what happens.
I'm dying. That's what's happening.
That's fair. But yeah, so that's part of my legacy for Gen 6 and Gen 7, is I might have accidentally managed to inspire a few people's competitive teams based on me throwing things into the void, which is, honestly, that's a legacy I'm quite proud of.
Yeah, no, definitely. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, one of these days I'll sit down with the Pokemon Home redo. Once the games are a bit further ahead and we've got most of the Pokemon back again, I'll sit down with Pokemon Home, send some of these things up and do it again. It's just like, yes, let's bless humanity with a ton of random hidden ability Pokemon. Maybe I'll inspire somebody's competitive career, who cares? We'll find out. It's like, I have no idea if, like, where they're going is the best part, so it's like, maybe I've just inspired somebody's competitive career, maybe I've just given someone the chance to get a hidden ability shiny, maybe I've just given this random 10-year-old who's playing the game for a first time an incredibly powerful Pokemon. Like, who knows? But somebody out there's just having a decent day, I guess. Honestly, if it was less effort, I'd probably sit down with, If it was 1, less effort, and 2, people, like, didn't have thousands of them already, I'd do the same with the 3 hidden ability starters that I have in Sword and Shield. I'd bash out, like, a box and just drop them into the Wonder Trade. I might do it anyway, to be fair, now that I've said that aloud, because why not? It's like, might as well.
I mean,
might
it
as
can't
well.
be any more of a pain in the ass than this is.
Yeah. And in all fairness, although I don't really know about the other 2 because I've not touched on them, friggin' Scorbunny's hidden ability is broke as crap apparently, and it's wonderful. So again, I might have another round of accidental competitive, because like 80% of the shit that I used to throw away was really good, so might as well.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, I was a good person. I was absolutely not. I gave at least one competitive person a Gale Wings friggin' fledgling, I swear. I got that over Wonder Trade, actually, fun story. I got my original Gale Wings fledgling over Wonder Trade, it was a Talonflame, but I got it from Wonder Trade, and then I went and bred more and threw it else into Wonder Trade, figuring that if somebody's going to give me some good luck, I'm going to pass that on. And that was kind of where that career of throwing friggin' decent hidden ability Pokemon into the ether came from.
How do you... So, if it's a hidden ability, can you actually see what it is, or is it hidden, and how do you tell?
No, it's basically like a special ability. So if you go on Cerebi, you have the normal ability, and then like a hidden ability, and that's basically a rare one. They were introduced in Gen 5, and you could only get them from Global Link or special events. Nowadays, you can get... So if you were in like Auraz, you could get them in Dexnav if you went high enough, which was like a method of catching Pokemon. If you went to a high enough chain, you could get the hidden ability. I think Gen 7 had the call mechanic, the in-battle call, and you could get them from that if you had a high enough chain, things like that. So it was always absolutely mad, and it was kind of great, and it was really difficult to get them. Hence why we kind of went and purged them into the Wonder Trade and promptly made them worthless, because that's what we do.
Yeah, okay, fair.
And yeah, Hitmontop is a bitch to get, to be quite honest, but... Actually, fun story, I have never had trouble in my life getting a Hitmontop. And the reason for that is quite simple. I'd breed one, level it up using rare candies to about level 15, and then I'd save the game at that point, and take note of, like, the stats and stuff. Yeah, I've never had a trouble with it. I'd get them up to level 15, save the game, take note of the stats, and then I'd go to the vitamin shop, wherever that is, and just get, like, 10 of each. And then just feed them one of them, whichever one is the lowest stat, feed them one, level them up, and feed them one, and level them up, and do it that way, up until the point where I got them at the right amount. And I can do that really quick. And I just end up with my nice level 20 Hitmontop after like a couple of attempts, because it wasn't that difficult to figure out what you needed to kind of do. And it was like, okay. So yeah, Hitmontop has never been a problem in my life, which is always nice. I mean, it was a bitch the first time I did a living dex, but that was because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. After that first time, it wasn't so bad. I just had to do a double take at that Chikorita because it looked slightly more golden than it was. Welcome to wishful thinking.
To 4-1s.
Yeah, I know.
Nervous. Good luck.
Please. Get me out of here. Let me do literally anything else with my day. Let me play the game.
I wanna play the game.
Yeah, that's a fair way of doing it as well. It's just like, I'll just punch something and go with it. I mean, to be fair, you could use the soft reset method for that as well, because depending on what you fight, it would give you different EVs. That's how I actually did it in Gen 6 before I did the whatchamacallit trick. Oh yeah, that is actually another way that I would do it even in Sword and Shield without using the vitamins, is I'd get the training bands. You know, like the power items that they do boosted EVs. Yeah, or like the Macho Brace I'd use sometimes if I had a Macho Brace and didn't have one of the powers. You know exactly what the fuck I meant, Fail Knight. Shut your gob. Stop it, Faye, you're being creepy. But yeah, so I'd get like a power band or whatever and just glue it to the thing and then go punch stuff in the face until I had a load of EVs. Or one time in X and Y, well actually I had two methods for X and Y. One of them was doing exactly what I just said, but doing it in horde battles instead. So I'd give it like the Macho Brace, grab my horde killer Sylveon, as I called it, which literally it only had spread moves. So it had like Swift, Dazzling Gleam, and Hyper Voice and something else, so like only multi-hit moves. And I'd literally take that to purge horde battles for the sake of EVs, and I would do that when I didn't feel like playing the minigame for it. So yeah, I'd take it into a place where I could get the correct EVs and just kill things for 5 minutes, and it was like, yeah, okay, that's instantaneous, whichever of the Pokemon that I wanted, basically. But yeah, another thing that I did was the the fighting minigame, whatever the fuck it was. The, I forgot what it's called. But you know, like the sport one, where you get to fly around and shoot footballs at giant balloons.
Oh, that.
Yeah, so I'd use that as well as my method, and I just literally EV trained the thing until it literally couldn't take any more EVs in the stat that I needed it in, and then level it up to level 20, and it's like, instantaneous way of making sure I got what I wanted. Hitmontop just required a balancing act, and it was like, okay. I usually would use neutral nature and try and get like the same sort of IVs for them as well sometimes, but that was a bit more effort than I was willing to put into some of those, so I just didn't. One of these days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bunch of perfect IV Tyrogues, label them as such, and send them out into the wild saying these are for Hitmontops. It's like, this is for people's good luck. Like, use these perfect IV friggin' Tyrogues to get your Hitmontop, because it'll be a lot easier, because there's less variance in your stats.
Mm-hmm.
And then all you gotta do is put the EVs in the right place and it's fine. So, yay. Fuck. Oh well. Yeah.
Posture check.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. You know what's funny is I'm actually not sitting that badly, considering that my chair is like reclined, so I could in theory be like really slouched, but I'm actually sitting okay, which is a weird experience for me, because I don't usually.
Also hydrate, because you've been talking a lot.
Yeah, I have actually been slowly working on my water bottle, so.
Good.
For once, I am in fact being responsible about the amount that I drink and not giving myself dehydration sickness again. I say because I definitely didn't wake up at 3 AM overheated and dehydrated.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, it was absolutely wonderful and definitely didn't lead to me like genuinely nearly passing out in a not fun way.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, I sat up to try and get my water bottle and the world went completely spinning and it was kind of great. Yes,
Ugh.
absolutely, hail hydrate, we should do that. And yes, Eon, drink more. Your plasma
Yes.
donation stuff is definitely important, but also just drink more in general.
Yes. Have water, have orange juice, have whatever it is you need. I do not want the chikorita.
Have whatever it is you need, just not this chikorita.
Exactly. Crap.
The slow descent into madness continues.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting closer to 1780, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I am not at all anywhere near any of the good ones. Yeah, you did miss 4 1s. Fuck, I don't want 4 11s. Please, God, 4 11s would be so bad. Like, how? What even is that number? Like, is that like millions? I think that might be millions.
No, I think that's 10,000s. No, 100,000s.
Yeah, something like that.
One
It's
one.
fucking high, or
One.
whatever it is. I've only seen one shiny hunt ever get that bad, and that was done in phases. In that, like, it had other shinies come up. It was somebody's Natu hunt, I think, and it was like 20... Oh, fuck, what was it? 200... Why am I sitting here staring at the screen while I'm trying to remember what this number was? It was like 264,000?
No, it is 11 million.
Oh yeah, so it is. That's a problem, I don't like that. Anyway, yeah, it was like 264,000 or something like that. Something like 30 phases of shiny.
Jesus Christ.
So they got like 30 other shinies before they got what they wanted. I think they were going for Natu as well, which, do you even know what shiny Natu looks like? It's ugly as fuck and barely changes, especially in SoulSilver, which is where they were doing it. Or possibly
Yeah.
Platinum. It was a Gen 4 game, whichever game it was. So it was a bit of a nightmare. Don't ever really want to think of that again.
If I get to 50,000 resets without getting a fucking shiny starter, I'm quitting.
That's reasonable because that's bullshit.
That
I'm
is
gonna
some
go see if I can find
bullshit.
that. If it wasn't for the fact that it would sound like shit, by the way, I'd probably shout for my Alexa to put some music on. But it would probably sound like shit, so I'm not gonna do that. Audio quality, ho. Also, if I wanted to put some music on, I could just also open my fucking browser. Shiny Natu. 200k, that might find it, maybe. It was somewhere, it was in like, 209,779. Yeah, it's literally just Natu but lighter. It's awful. Yeah, hang on. It's a video from 2015, in case you're wondering what it is. I'm just currently loading it. Also getting text messages from people, but they can go fuck off because I don't want to talk to them right now. Oh, sorry, no, it was in Gen 3. 25 phases. Oddish, Girafarig. Hold on, let me do my next reset. Yeah, 2 Oddish, 2 Girafarig, a Pikachu, 2 Girafarig, an Oddish, a Pikachu, a Doduo, three more Oddish, a Giraffe Rig, 3 more Oddish, a Giraffe Rig, Fanfi, 2 more Oddish, 3 more Fanfi, and then the Natu at another 12,000 encounters.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, 209,779 is I think the longest hunt in the world, actually. Or it's pretty damn close if it isn't the current record of longest fucking hunt. And, like, again, consider that is in a goddamn... Yeah, it does look a bit better in Sword and Shield, but, like, that was in Gen 3, so I think it was in Fire Red, because they were doing it off the Cape or whatever, of one of the areas. So if you look up Gen 3's Natu sprite, and, like, that's the shiny that they did, that they did 25 phases and over 200,000 encounters for, which... Yeah, no, that's just bad. I feel like Kali's like softly googling this in the background, like, okay, how shit is this? But yeah, it's terrible.
No, I'm just scaring the shit out of my dog.
Oh, okay, that's also a reasonable option. Scaring the puppy is fun.
No, I accidentally banged my elbow on my desk, and then it made one of the controllers slide off the PS4, and dog lost his shit, like, oh god, I'm dying!
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Amber came in partway through the stream last week, all on Wednesday. She just showed up, and it was like, hello, how you doing? Yes, silly puppy is silly. Mine just showed up for hugs.
Yay! Amber hugs.
Yeah, she showed up for hugs because nobody else was in the house, so she couldn't pester anybody else for pets. And then everybody else in the house came back, so she went on a quick relay run to make sure everyone was in their places, and then went away again.
Gotta make sure everyone is still who she thinks they are.
Yeah.
You never know when those pesky pod people will strike.
How many hours has it been? I have no idea. Take my YouTube archive and add 40 minutes. So I think we're at about 7, nearly 8 for me. Because my video on Wednesday was only about an hour. So yeah, it's going great. We are definitely not going mad. Although, again, to be fair, Oxley, as I have just informed Kali, it's definitely not the worst thing that could happen. Once again, Gen 3 Natu, which is one of the worst shinies I've ever had the honour of looking at in terms of how boring it is. 25 phases, so 24 other shiny Pokemon before he got the Natu, and over 200,000 encounters. And yes, I did say that right. 209,779 was the final encounter total for that entire hunt, with the Natu being 12k of that. Like, just the Natu phase was 12k. I think that's possibly one of the longest hunts that anyone has ever done. Yeah, possibly. But yeah, I think, like, there's a video on YouTube somewhere. I think it's from a couple years ago, so it's a bit out of date by now. But there's a video somewhere of, like, the longest hunts ever done by people, and that is definitely on that list, as possibly as the highest one, thinking about it, because it's ridiculous. I think, I want to say it was done by, like, the Aura Guardian or something like that, or, Supreme Arcanines, something like that. Like, one of those guys did a video on it, and it's honestly absurd. Like, it's literally just a nightmare, especially because, like, the low end still starts, like, pretty high. but it's like, it's really bad because it's like a top 10 longest hunts or something, and that's, like, definitely, like, number 1, or, like, if it's not number 1, it's, like, number 2, and if it is number 2, I don't want to figure out what the fuck number 1 was, because that's a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh god.
Well, actually, here's a fun story.
No.
Van, here's a fun story. We have, for years, as a shiny hunting community, been asking for something like that. We, literally, I'm not shitting you, since about Gen 6 or so, possibly a bit earlier. No, I don't want the fucking lettuce. We've been asking for, like, a rarer form of shiny that is essentially, like a different colour, or like, some people have not even said, like, a different form of shiny, like a rainbow Pokemon or something, so, or, like, so no matter, like, just literally because we are just all fucking sick of seeing shinies at this point, it's like, can we have something rarer? Because the shiny hunting community as a whole hate ourselves. Like, why the fuck would you expect of somebody who sits here literally doing this all the time? Like, what would you expect other than, can we have it but worse? But yeah, we've been asking for this sort of bullshit since, like, Gen 6. And it's great.
Honestly, I just want some of the old shinies to be revamped. Because, why the hell is shiny Espeon green?
Yeah, okay, I can actually answer that question. And it's because the early gen, actually Kali's already doing that, so go fuck yourself. That's aimed at Van.
I'm not streaming it.
Yeah, she's not streaming it, but she is doing it, and she's gonna hate herself, but she is doing it.
I actually probably could start streaming it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Why?
Because you'll probably go even crazier. You have 2 of these now going on.
Consider I'm already bonkers.
Fair. But yeah, anyway, so I can answer the question about the shitty shinies, and it's because a lot of the early gen Pokemon were shiny. The shinies were made by palette swapping. I think it started about Gen 4 or Gen 5, they started actually deliberately picking the colours for the shinies instead, which is why a lot of like the newer gen Pokemon tend to look better. Not all of them, admittedly, there have been some horrific ones recently, and not so recently, but a lot of the newer gen shinies tend to look better at least because they are actually deliberately colour picked, whereas a lot of older gen shinies just had their palettes swapped to basically whatever was on the other side of the colour wheel. Which is why...
Like Pikachu?
Yeah, that's
like
why Pikachu is shit.
Needs a new shiny Pikachu needs a new one. I just wish that some of them would get an overhaul. Some of the worst ones.
Yeah, but that's
like,
why Pokemon like
shiny Geodude, like...
I don't actually hate Geodude too bad, but it could do with a bit of a change because it's a bit too bright.
If it's yellow or silver is the problem.
It's gold. It's like a gold yellow.
Gold?
It's a bit miserable when you get what the fuck's its evolved form? Golem, because that thing looks like kind of bronzy, and I quite like that. Geodude needs a calm down though. Like Geodude's a bit bright.
Honestly, it kind of reminds me of like cat crap.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, but that's why like a lot of early gen Pokemon either barely change, like in the case of Natu or Pikachu or Golduck, or they have colours that go like really bright, like greens and stuff. It's literally just because it was a palette swap. Now you want to talk about a Pokemon that needs its shiny revamping, and not because it's terrible, but because the old one was better?
Why?
Charizard. Sure.
Wait, did they?
Charizard is nice with the black and everything. Like that's a decent shiny, and I will not fight it. However, original shiny Charizard was friggin' purple, and it's kind of great.
Was it really?
Yeah, crystal shiny Charizard was like a purpley lilac colour, and I think it had like a greenish wing, but it was a decent green that actually fit the purple, and it was really cool looking.
Right.
Like honestly, I'm slightly pissed off that we don't have that as a shiny anymore because it was really good. And then Gen 3 I think changed it because of changed colour palettes.
Isn't Mega Charizard Mega Charizard X basically shiny Charizard anyway?
Megazord X does actually have a very similar shiny. Thinking about it, so if you look at Megazord X, that's kind of a similar sort of shiny from memory, it's a similar colour.
Megazord X, isn't it basically just like the same exact colors as a normal shiny?
Oh yeah, it is. It's really great. I love Megazord X. It's the black and like blue is a good color combo. Mega shiny Charizard X isn't as great, to be fair, but that's because I am a piece of trash when it comes to that thing.
Right, but if they changed like the shiny Charizard back to the purple, then you could either have a normal one that could look like the shiny, or you could have like a really cool shiny.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I like old shiny Charizard. I will admit that it's quite a nice setup. Like nothing is wrong with the new one. I'm not saying that Black Charizard is like a bad thing at all. Like nothing is wrong with that. But like that's basically what the Pokemon community has actually been kind of asking for, is either some sort of incredibly rare version of a shiny, or like just taking like some of the really nice old gen shinies and bringing them back as a rarer shiny, or something, and then doing that again with the new ones.
Sorry, I have a counter proposal.
Yeah.
Well, so if you consider shinies to be either lististic or melanistic versions of the Pokemon, what about Calico Pokemon?
That would be incredible. Now that you've said that aloud, that would be really nice. Although, to be fair, like I said, we did have a sort of thing like that. We were like either have them like all white or like all black or like rainbow or something. Just give us a fucking rarer shiny that we can do. And to come back to the conversation topic from a couple minutes ago where Posse says that, yeah, Calico is something that I have done. It's kind of great. Yeah, so as Posse said, they did kind of do that in Sword and Shield with the different types of shapes, but the problem is the different shape stars are broken in that game from what we understand. I don't know if they still are, to be fair, they might have been patched, but I know at the beginning they were broken in that everybody had, like, the stars weren't actually the correct rarity. So, like, caught Pokemon had a higher had a higher chance of being star shinies than square shinies, but hatched Pokemon had the opposite chance instead. So instead of the squares being rarer than the stars, they were basically both equal rareness, but it depended on which method you fucking used. So they were broken at the beginning, and it was like, oh, good job, guys. Like I say, I don't know if they fixed that, but I am well aware that they were broken when it originally came out, and it was kind of great because Cerebi genuinely spent like weeks trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, along with the assistance of basically the entire shiny hunting community, as we all just kind of sat our asses down with these games and started shiny hunting for like wild Pokemon versus hatched Pokemon versus this versus like every criteria we could think of, trying to cross off and figure out why the fuck the shapes were different.
Oh no. Alright, Oxy.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Lay it on us. I mean, I get to suffer through the ads anyway because I'm not like a partner or anything, so I don't get the option to unfuck stuff like that. Although I am very close, and if I keep streaming for the rest of this month and also get like 9 followers, I could probably actually qualify this month. I just need the followers, it's great. If I keep streaming like I am, then yeah, I'm good. And it is kind of great because, like I say, I now basically have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as stream days if I want to. Because Wednesday and Friday I don't have classes, and then Thursday mornings now I don't have classes either, so I've got... And then like if I can do like Saturday night as well. Huh. That's very interesting, and yeah, it really does show that Twitch owners need to fucking catch a goddamn hint, really, because that's so stupid.
That sucks ass.
Yeah, that's really bad, honestly. It's so stupid, like, they really need to catch a hint.
Yeah, does it get back up to pre-add numbers afterwards, or no? Yeah, thanks, Oxy.
Yeah, that's absolutely a good idea, because I'm curious now as well. Especially since, like I say, I am kind of working to get a bit closer to that. It'd be good. Although it also then means actually setting things up so that I can use any of the bonuses that you get from having affiliate status.
Yeah.
And that's
because, like, I know that you guys are pretty good about, on my stream, like, saying, hey, roll an ad or whatever, we don't care, go for it.
Yeah, but it is also predominantly due to the fact that 80% of us are fucking subs, so...
Yeah.
And those that aren't subs, I think, are probably the mods, so... I don't think we get ads anyway, so it's like, just do whatever, we don't give a shit. But yeah, like, it really kills for, like, new viewers, I guess, because obviously you gotta show up to the stream and it's like, yep, there's an ad in there. I don't really want to sit here. Mods are sub too. Okay, fair enough. Why do I get the feeling I'm going to open the fucking Kali stream next time and it's just like, okay, there's a sub that I don't think I had before, but okay. But yeah, it's absurd.
Pretty sure you're subbed.
I think my sub actually ran out a couple days ago. Although possibly somebody gave me a sub yesterday and I didn't remember because at this point I'm not sure yesterday happened. Like, aside from the fact that I know I did some of my, like, one of my online courses, like, I don't think yesterday happened very well. I think pretty much what happened yesterday was I woke up kind of late and then did a couple things and then my dad got home and then I watched Oxy's stream for 4 hours and that's pretty much what yesterday was.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time period between some of those segments, but I don't remember what the fuck they were.
Alright, we're at reset 1800 and still nothing.
Yeah, this is shiny hunting. It's bad. But it's good, but it's just really bad for the first segment. The problem is it's a slog. That's the only reason it pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a bit of a slog. And I'm really tempted on Wednesday to hook up my Switch. I'll hook my Switch up to everything. Obviously that means messing with a bunch of stream settings, but I'll hook my Switch up to everything and go and, like, just do a hunt, basically. I won't be able to keep a counter on screen because of how I have to stream using that thing, but, like, I'll keep a counter open. And I'll just kind of pull up Let's Go, and I can show you how quick shinies are in that game, because it's really really miserable. Like, literally, I can get a shiny in an hour.
Damn.
Then again, Pokeradar at least in Gen 6, I've never done Pokeradar in Gen 4, because, like I confessed last time, never actually beat a Gen 4 game. The Pokeradar takes like an hour to set up, and then, assuming you don't fuck it up, it's really quick. But the problem is, you got to assume that you're not going to fuck it up, and that's the difficult part. Because it is really easy to fuck up Pokeradar if you don't know what you're doing, or even if you do know what you're doing. I have genuinely lost count of the number of times where I've started a Pokeradar chain, got to a chain of like 30, which is almost the max shiny chance, accidentally fucked it up, and it's like, oh, okay, bye. But there's an innumerable amount of those, but there's also a horrible amount of them that don't get past 10, because despite the fact that the grass looked absolutely perfect, it turned out it wasn't, and it's like, okay, fuck you too then. I guess you just hate me. That's fine as well.
Maybe I should load up the emulator for Y or X or something.
Yeah, Gen 6 is a good game. I know a lot of people didn't like it. It's actually quite funny. Despite the fact that my main complaint about not liking Gen 7 is that the story is shit, I don't think that the Gen 6 story is actually all that much better. It's like, if I had to pick between Gen 6 and Gen 7, I'll pick Gen 6 because I think it's a better game. But, like, neither of them had a really brilliant story. I just had a lot more fun with the Gen 6 story than the Gen 7 story. Possibly this is due to the fact that I'm still very salty about the fucking Ultra games, honestly. Because it's like...
Why are you salty about those?
Okay, so the reason I'm salty about the Ultra games is because they are essentially another round of third game remake. So obviously you have Crystal, you have Emerald, you have Platinum, you have, you know, that thing where you have your core three essentially, and your third game would usually have a slightly different story. In the case of Emerald, you had a completely different story, which, by the way, holy shit, that's good. I like Emerald a lot. Platinum was a lot better than Diamond and Pearl story-wise, just in terms of it being better written. And, like, you kind of get more of the villain in it. Like, from what I remember of Diamond and Pearl, you didn't really get much of the villain up until the point where you're walking up to the tower, or the top of the mountain, and the villains are everywhere. Like, you didn't get much backstory to what the fuck was going on. Platinum kind of gave you that. I can't speak too much for Crystal, but I seem to recall Crystal was quite good in that, like, you had an entire different cover legendary, which was nice, and it wasn't like it was nice because it wasn't like an entirely different cover legendary like Rayquaza or Giratina are. It's a Pokemon that was in the other two, but it's just got a bigger role. And I liked that quite a lot about how Crystal worked. So, like, those games were quite good. And I have no complaints with any of them. Yeah, Eugene is a fucking lunatic. I love him. So yeah. And then you get Black and White, right? And Black and White are good games on their own, standalone good games. And naturally everyone's asking, like, oh, when's Pokemon Grey, or whatever the fuck the third game is going to be? Because, you know, there's a naming theme with this shit. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But we didn't get that.
No, we got Black 2 and White 2.
Yeah, and we got Black 2 and White 2.
Which was annoying.
And holy shit, no, I have no complaints with Black 2 and White 2, because they were kind of incredible. I love them. They are really good games.
They're still good, but it was
kind of miserable that they broke the 3 formula. I'll admit to that.
I was looking really forward to the third because I was hoping for some more backstory.
Yeah, you were curious about what they were going to do to an already existing game to make it better, essentially. And instead what we got was the 2-year sequel, as I like to say, in that it's 2 years ahead. It's like 2 years ahead from the events of the Black and White games, and it's the same cast of characters but in different formats, and it's really, like, I loved it, honestly. I had so much fun playing those games. It does also help that I was like 12. And yeah, and then, okay, this is kind of where that rant is leading to. So then you've got X and Y, and there's no third game. And again, bit disappointing, because honestly I would have liked a Pokemon Z, as it were, because again, Gen 6 personally did not have the best story in the world. I still call it better than Gen 7, and I will get to that. But it was not, like, the greatest thing I have ever seen in the world, and I would have liked to see them essentially give it the Platinum treatment, where Diamond and Pearl was a bit shit, so Platinum made it better. I would have liked to have seen X and Y was a bit shit, so Z made it better. You know, I'd like to have seen that.
Right.
And then we'll skip over Auraz, because Auraz is a remake, and we all know how those work, and yeah, sure, they were really good. I'm happy with Auraz. I like what they did with it. I like how they put the Emerald plot in a different way, especially. And then you've got Sun and Moon. And Sun and Moon desperately needed the fucking Platinum treatment. Like, I can't explain to you how bad those games needed that treatment. The plot, it wasn't as badly done as Diamond and Pearl, because again, for all that I love Diamond and Pearl, I am not ashamed of the fact that it is a fucking terrible game in some places, and one of those is the villain. It's definitely not as badly done as that. The villains were kind of led up to, and things worked out quite well. But they were led up to in a really awkward fashion, at least personally. I feel like they were led up to really awkwardly, in that you didn't actually get a hint that these were the bad guys. And it's like, I'm all for plot twist villain. I'm all for it. You kind of got some of that actually in Gen 6, in that friggin' Lysander was kind of a plot twist villain, but he was a plot twist villain in a way that you could see that he was the villain, but it was a plot twist that the game was, like, good. And it was done well, and I quite liked it. But Gen 7, it really did kind of feel like they forgot that they needed to have villains and threw it in at the last moment. Or at least that's how it felt for me. But yeah, you finish that game, and like Care says, the fucking post-game. So I'm going to be completely honest here, I have not touched the fucking post-game for those. Because, honest to God, I have 3 copies. I have Moon and 2 copies of Sun. I have not beaten any of them, due to the fact that the first copy of Moon is mine, the copy of Moon is mine, and I got to the League and then stopped. The first copy of Sun is technically my brother's, which we were originally playing the game synchronized, which we did with X and Y and we did with Auraz. We got 1 copy each and we played them together. We were playing it synchronized, we got to the League, we stopped playing. I then have another copy of Sun that is not... Well, I don't actually remember if I beat it. That's what that game is. I don't remember if I actually beat that game. And there is no post-game. The post-game, from what I can recall, is the fucking battle tree. I think. And then again, I might be confusing that with fucking the sequels, which I'll get to in a sec. So yeah, that's my problem with that game. Yeah, that is kind of what it is. Gen 7 very much had cutscene syndrome, and I'm very glad that friggin' Thank you for that host, Mercatron. Welcome to the rant. So I'm very glad that Let's Go and Sword and Shield have the skip cutscenes thing, because at least it takes out some of that. Like, it's not great, it only takes out the movies and not the cutscenes, but at least it gets rid of some of it, which is good. Because, Jesus Christ, it needed it really badly. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of where we get to with Sun and Moon, where there is no fucking post-game. There's, like, the battle tree, and there's the collect the Ultra Beasts, which... That was it. It was literally you go to location, you get information, you go to location, you catch the Pokemon, and repeat. That was your post-game for Gen 7. What? And then there was the battle tree, which is basically Battle Frontier shit edition.
How is that a post-game?
That's not a post-game.
That's a side quest.
Yeah, that's a side quest. It's not a post-game. But that was your post-game, okay? So there's my problem with Sun and Moon. That is collectively kind of my main problem with Sun and Moon, is the post-game is shit, but I genuinely did not like the story particularly well either, because it did really kind of feel like they forgot they were supposed to have a villain and shoehorned in the Aether Foundation at the last moment. Okay, so you got all that.
Spoiler.
Oh yeah. Spoiler, the game's been out for 5 years. If you haven't played it by now, I don't think you're going to, let's be honest. Okay.
Why?
I mean, yeah, you might, but... Okay, but
yeah,
like I say,
never mind.
That's a game that needed the platinum treatment really bad. Like, it needed a Pokemon Stars or whatever the fuck they would have gone with. I can't remember what the collective fandom nicknames for it was. But, like, it really desperately needed that treatment, where it was going to take the game, and it was going to take the plot, and make the plot a bit more fleshed out, and it was going to give us a proper post-game, and it would have been great.
You know, why didn't they just fucking use Cresselia? They already have a Moon Pokemon. Why didn't they just fucking use Cresselia? And actually, like... give Cresselia a counterpart instead of making up like the new fucking whatever the fucks they did.
Lunala and Solaglio, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't they use Cresselia and then some other like
Well,
new
technically,
sun type Pokemon?
yeah. Well, Cresselia does have a counterpart, and that's Darkrai, and that's because they're supposed to be a Dreams duo, which I understand that from that perspective why they didn't. But like, I do absolutely see what you mean. Like, they could have done anything else, right? So here we are, sitting here at the 20th anniversary with fucking Pokemon Sun and Moon and all that, and we're sitting here and we're like, please God, this game needs a threequel so that we can have the platinum treatment for it, and we can like maybe stop crying a bit about how shit this thing is. And then roll around 2017, and then roll around the announcements, blah blah blah, and like again, we're basically begging for like a third game. Or hell, we're begging for you people to use the fact that the 3DS has downloadable content options and give us a DLC that gives us a post-game. We're fine with either at this point, because it's that annoying. And you roll around the announcement, and they roll out the red carpet, and it's all really dramatic, and you get Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Oh boy, you get Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So, as you can probably tell from my tone of voice, that's not a good thing. You ready?
Yeah.
It's the same fucking game.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Literally, the difference comes at the climax of the game. Pretty much. There's like 2 extra Ultra Beasts added. And the difference mainly comes at the climax of the game, where you end up with the Ultra Wormhole mechanic. And big ol' spoilers incoming, by the way. I'm basically talking about the entire plot for this next couple minutes. So, now, please keep in mind, I have beaten one of the games. I beat Ultra Sun, I think. Or, no, I beat Ultra Moon and then got to like the second island in my Ultra Sun playthrough and then couldn't be fucking bothered because it's the same game. But yeah, so there's 4 islands, plus the 8th island. Island 1 is literally identical from memory, and Island 2 is pretty much identical from memory. The only difference on Island 2 is you get the Zygarde quest. And the Zygarde quest is literally, here's a cube, there's a bunch of green sparkles around your game, collect the green sparkles and you get a Zygarde. Yeah, that's it. That's your fun, basically, for this game. Is you get a fucking collectathon. So that's great. And then you beat Island 2 and you go through the next bit. And from what I can remember, Island 3 is pretty much still identical. And pretty much the same for Island 4, in that it is basically identical. It's basically the same game. With some little extra collectathons. Chat is absolutely down to jump in and say, well, actually, at any point, because I don't remember this game well enough, because genuinely, the games are so close to the same fucking thing that I couldn't actually tell you if there were differences at this point, because 80% of it is the same. But yeah, so you waltz through it, and literally the only difference is the goddamn, like, main climax of the game, where you get your fucking Nebby, and you go through the little quest where it becomes Cosmoem, and you go through your quest for pick legendary of your choice, essentially, and then you get the Ultra Wormhole. And that's literally the coolest thing I have ever seen in my life, might I add. That was good. And honest to God, if they'd have made it a threequel, and essentially, if this had been a Pokemon Platinum game, if I had been sitting down basically playing Pokemon Stars, and this was what I was given, I would not have had any levels of salt for this. If we'd have had like either of the legendaries in the game, etc, etc. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Yeah, it's like if I'd have been given this and it had been like the big climax of the game is the same, but you don't have to pick between your 2 helper legendaries, so one helps you and one helps fucking Lily or whatever her name was. I'd have been completely fine if this was a threequel. It's the fact that it's a fucking pair of games that's basically identical. So yeah, you go through the friggin' Ultra Wormhole, and you get to the big old city, and you've got to fight fucking Ultra Necrozma, which, to date, is like the second hardest boss in the Pokemon series, only outclassed nowadays by Eternamax Eternatus, which, that thing is broken and bullshit, and I'm pretty sure its base stat total is somewhere over 1,000. So, that thing basically doesn't count, and you can't use it in battle, which is its only saving grace, is that it literally only exists for its boss fight and nothing else. Hey Soren, welcome to Rant Town. And yeah, you go through that, you fight the thing, and you get this cute little thing at the end, and then you proceed on with your goddamn game. And it continues to be the exact same thing as Sun and Moon, where you literally just go fight the League and you move on. And then you get your post-game. And you know what your post-game is, basically? Do you want to take a guess at what your post-game is for this game?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's the fucking same thing. It's go here, go get Pokemon location, go find Pokemon, leave, go back to location, get new Pokemon. And again, it's the fucking battle tower, or the battle tree. It's the fucking stupid god. It's the same thing as Sun and Moon. So again, you didn't even fix the fact that the post-game's shit. And you know what the best part is, though? That's technically a lie. They did try and fix it. You know how they try and fix it?
How?
I'd like to return you to the Ultra Wormhole. And
God.
The Ultra Wormhole has a fun little mechanic where you can saddle up on legendary Pokemon of your choice, and either using the 3DS gyroscope or using the joystick, you can steer yourself through, and you basically have to pick up energy in the thing, and it's to get as far it's literally a mini game of get as far as you can. And then you get into a wormhole, and on the other side there's a Pokemon. It might be a normal-ass Pokemon, and it depends on what sort of area you're in. So you can get, like, Altaria, or Yanmaga, or Quagsire, things like that, right? Or it might be a legendary. And in the legendary spaces, they're kind of like these really awesome custom things. So, like, Guzzlord, the Ultra Beast, has, like, this really cool dystopian city. And it's like you have to navigate through the city to get to the end of the area, and then you find Guzzlord, and it's really cool. And then, so that there's one, because I'm currently sitting on a shiny Nilhalego hunt, and it's like this really awesome area. Oh yeah, no, to be fair, they did add something extra in the actual main game, and that was the, actually wait, did they? Can somebody correct me on this? You know the, Luzamine thing with the big fucking bubble Nilhalego? Was that added in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or was that in the originals? Because I honestly couldn't tell you. That's how similar those games are. I can't remember if that was part of the same plot or not. Because I feel like that was added, like the big bubble jelly. Only original. Is that the only thing that was like basically originally in that segment of the plot? Because I genuinely cannot remember. Like, that's how bad those games are, comparatively speaking. Like the jellyfish Louisamine thing. Oh, hey Shami, thank you for the follow. Yeah, the Ultra Louisamine jellyfish thing was, I think, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon exclusive, and like I say, that's how little the plot impacted me, because I genuinely couldn't remember if that was in the original games or not. So okay, slightly unfair. There was a bit more change than I was impressing originally. I'll give it that. But do you get the point? There's so little difference that I couldn't remember. Oh god. So yeah, this is the reason that I genuinely think that Gen 7 is the worst.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Save state is slightly more effort to load, and I can't be bothered. Also, it doesn't soft reset the shinies if you do it that way. We tested it, it doesn't reset the Pokemon. We tested it by, basically, we put a save state right in front of the Pokeballs, we picked one, loaded the take notes of the stats, and then loaded the save state, and the stats are identical. Like, it was literally an identical Pokemon. So it doesn't actually reload the Pokemon, which means there won't be a different shiny chance. So it would literally just be a waste of time. You know, more than this already is.
You're right, and that makes me sad.
Yep. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, even if you move beforehand, it doesn't reload the RNG, because they are loaded on essentially changing from the start screen, from what I understand, so it doesn't work. But yeah, anyway, so that's basically the reason why I think that Gen 7 is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's kind of the situation that we're in with Gen 7, and they, like I say, if they'd have been given the Platinum treatment, I would have been fine with it. I would have been fine taking a third game that was kind of more like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, if it was like one game, and if it maybe had a bit better touch up to it, like the islands were a bit more different, you know, things like that. Like, basically do what they did with Platinum, where they kind of gave it a better world, and like a bit more atmosphere.
Gave it like, there's a volcanic eruption happening, so now there's a new island.
Yeah, exactly, like anything. If we'd have had a bit more of a post-game to it, that would have been great. I would have been so happy. Genuinely, I would have been ecstatic to have Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon come out as Pokemon Stars, basically as is, but with more of a post-game. Like, sure, well, I say I would have been ecstatic, but compared to what we got, I would have been ecstatic. I think as the mythical person who is living in that timeline, she's probably still just as pissed. But at least, like, she technically got the better end of the deal.
If you gave it more of a post-game and, like, say, did give it another like island that was like essentially here's every fire type under the sun.
Yeah, it's like it could have been. It had potential, but dear God, they fucked it a bit. And it's especially the thing is they didn't even necessarily fuck up the games. The 20th anniversary games of Sun and Moon were not that bad. But it's the fact that they tackled on Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon at the end. That's kind of what has killed Gen 7 a little bit. And it's like, I'm lumping in Gen 7 as well with Let's Go, because Let's Go is not a good game, but that's predominantly due to the fact that it's basically Pokemon Yellow. It's Pokemon Yellow, but with Eevee and Pikachu. That's literally what it is. And it's like, I'm not horribly upset with that, and I'm happy with a lot of the things that came with that game. But genuinely, it's the fact that it kind of got lumped in the generation of two of the worst things that I've ever seen in my life, so it gets me a bit salty. And also, I've seen so much of Gen 1 now that I'm sick of looking at it. Like, it was really difficult to beat Let's Go originally, because I was so sick and tired of Gen 1. Because I've never played Gen 1, and admittedly, I've not really played all that much of, like, Gen 3, so I shouldn't be fucking that mad, but I've played enough of, like, SoulSilver, and I've seen enough people let's play the game, that I'm like, I'm honest to God sick of Kanto. So it was, like, ridiculously difficult to beat that game. Because I was so fucking bored of that region. And, like, I'm pretty sure if you get it...
How are you gonna handle, Kanto in this game, then?
Oh, no, I'll manage it, because it's different, is the thing. Like, I do actually not hate Kanto, that's the thing, but I hate the specific Gen 1 Kanto, like, the way you have to work through it. I don't hate the one in SoulSilver, technically. I do have a grudge from when I was younger and first played this game, where I got fucking stuck for literal, like, months, because I couldn't figure out how to get to, like, the rest of the region for some reason. And I don't know why, but I got really stuck and lost and couldn't figure out how to do, like, half the badges for, like, ages. And, like, to this day, I don't know what the fuck caused that, but I don't remember. I just got very stuck at one point, and it was kind of funny, like, looking back, but I got pissed. But yeah, so it's like, and that's honestly, to continue my rant a little bit further, that's why I'm actually, like, not pissed off with Sword and Shield, and that's why I'm quite happy that we kind of got last year where we didn't have a game. And we got the 2 DLCs, because, like, if nothing else, it at least shows that you learned something from that. You didn't try and give us a threequel. Like, yeah, sure, the plot of Sword and Shield wasn't necessarily the best, but it was set up reasonably well. It does have a bit of Diamond and Pearl syndrome, in that it feels like you kind of forgot you needed a villain up until the last 10 minutes of programming, and then we're like, oh shit, we needed to have an actual climactic story. And, spoiler warning, big one here, that part is kind of compounded by the fact that the villain fight takes place literally during the league. So, yeah, the big, Eternatus thing that I mentioned earlier, literally you go through the sort of setup stuff for the league where you do your, like, Elite Four thing, but it's done in, like, a tournament style, so it's not like an Elite Four. You fight, like, your 2 rivals, and then you fight some of the gym leaders. And then you fight through all that and you get to fight the champion. And it's actually really cool, I like that mechanic. And yeah, it's just as this sort of champion fight is supposed to start that you get the announcement that the big bad's happening. And then you have to run from your champion fight to go and do the big bad fight. And it's actually, like, quite neat. I kind of like how it's paced.
I kind of like that. That actually sounds really... That actually sounds more, almost realistic. Like, the timing of this shit is never going to be convenient. So you have to choose, are you going to do your champion fight or save the world? Which, of course, the game doesn't really give you a choice.
Yeah.
You have to go save the world. But I like the implication.
Yeah, like, the feel of it was good. That's one of the things, I think, is... Like, people bitch about Sword and Shield's plot, but the main reason they bitch is actually because it attempts to... Yeah, exactly as Fail says. Most of the plot happens in the background. And that's what people seem to bitch about, and that's actually what I love about it. They treat you like the fact that you are 10. You're a 10-year-old who is supposed to be exploring the region and having fun with this gym challenge. So whenever there's something bad happening, Leon, as the champion, shows up and goes, yeah, don't worry about it, continue on your gym challenge, keep having fun. Or Sonia, the sort of professor, or she's the granddaughter of the professor, she shows up and goes, don't worry about it, leave it to the adults. And I liked that.
Yeah, that's actually, like... Wow, so that means that Galar is actually the one responsible region.
Yeah, I mean, you still get dragged into the superhero thing at the end, but that's only after Leon fails. That's the best part about that game, is you go into the champion fight, and the big thing happens where I'm gesturing so much, so if my resets are getting slower, that's kind of why I'm having a bit of a wave about as we do this. And you're like standing there on the field, and the cutscene plays to go like, the big bad. I don't know why I'm trying to censor myself a bit at this point. I'm spoiling the plot of the game here. If people are still listening, I'm sorry, but you were warned that there were spoilers ahead.
I should have left 10 minutes ago, but
I apologise for the fact that you're just getting Sword and Shield kind of ruined for you. I'm very sorry. You can tell me to stop.
Look, there is a fucking Pokemon made out of a goddamn teapot. I am playing this game no matter what.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, as Fail says, that's the only thing I have a problem with the plot. In the, like, the entire thing, so the big bad is a chairman of a goddamn corporation who has decided that there's going to be an energy crisis in 1,000 years, and he's got to fix it now, which is what causes Eternatus to show up, because he tries to use the Dynamax energy to do it, and it sort of releases it from this big block or something. Honestly, I sort of missed that part of the plot the first time I played it, and then didn't pay attention the second time because I was rushing through the game to get the legendary for my decks. So, forgive me for the grains of salt that I don't remember what the fuck's going on. It's been 2 years. Well, a year-ish. So, it's really kind of stupid, the plot, and it does kind of come out of feeling a bit like last minute, but that's why I love it, because most of the plot has happened in the background. Like I said earlier, there was the one moment where Sonia and Leon, they come to you and your rival Hop, and they stand there and go, like, there's an explosion in the town that you're in. And it's like a big explosion, there's an earthquake, and things like that, and it's quite excessive. And you and, like, Hop, no I didn't, as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure we're safe. Oh yeah, that's fair. I usually shorthand to like the first part of people's names, which is why I keep calling you Fail, but yeah, I'll do my best to remember that. I'm gonna have to go back and check my VoD now, because I'm gonna have to make sure that I didn't just skip over a shiny, but I think I'm okay.
You can backtrack and see if you want.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll figure it out later. So yeah, like, like I say, big explosion in the town. To be fair, if I missed a shiny, it's my own fucking fault for getting really excessive about this game's plot. Explosion in the town, and Hop goes like, oh, we should go check it out. And Leon and Sonia stop you and go, no, don't worry about it, let the adults handle it, just keep having fun with your journey. And it's the best thing ever. Like, it's maddening because it's like, there's a goddamn plot going on and I'm missing it. But at the same time, it's great. See you, Eon.
Hi, Eon.
Like, it's great because, like, holy shit, this region actually has child safety laws, apparently.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then, like I say, you get to the champion fight, and Chairman Rose does his announcement saying, I'm gonna fix the energy crisis, or whatever the fuck it was. And it's insane, and you like, kind of rush out and get dragged into this, because you're following Leon. And you get through this entire thing, and, like, no shiny was skipped? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
So, like, you get to the big bad, and then you fight Chairman Rose, and it's like... Do you mean Tony Stark? Actually, now that you've said that, he does kind of look like Stark in, like, a bit of a fucked up way, and that's hilarious, I love it. Like, Chairman Rose is a great character. Like, he's an ass, but he's a great character. He also has possibly one of the best battle themes in any game ever, and I'm very mad that it only shows up for that fight and nowhere else, because it's so good. But it's like, yeah, it's just not there. It's great. But yeah, so... You fight Chairman Rose, and he's like, oh yeah, the big thing's happening on the roof. And you go to the roof, and there's Leon fighting it, and he's finished the fight, and he tries to catch it. And he fails, and that's why the 10-year-olds get dragged in. And it's incredible, because it's like, the entire game, they're doing the best that they can to keep these kids out of this fight, and it's only when they happen to be there as everything goes horribly wrong that they actually have to deal with this.
That's fantastic, actually. I really like that. Like,
yeah, it's incredible.
There are actual responsible goddamn adults who know what they're doing, who are taking their jobs seriously. That actually makes me really happy.
Yeah, it's really good. And I don't know if it's maybe sounding better, like, said instead of played, because when it's played, it does take kind of a long time to kind of draw it out, so it's only when it's kind of all brought together in the aftermath that it feels as good as it is. Like, I remember being a bit sick when I was playing the story, because I was like, Jesus Christ, please just let me fight the bad guy. But, like, in the aftermath of doing that, like, I sit down and I kind of leaned back in my chair a bit and went, I just played a game with actual responsible adults in a Pokemon world. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. That was really good. And it's like, it's only after that's dealt with. And again, another thing that's quite nice is the first time you fail. So like, you watch Leon fail, you go into the fight, you fail. And then the 2 legendaries show up, and they help you with the fight, and then you win. And like, obviously it's a scripted fail. Yeah, it's really good. And then you win, and then you catch it, and it's really good. And then it's like, after that, there is kind of the actual proper climactic crash, and it feels right. It apparently time skips 3 days, as everything kind of got cleaned up and people got arrested. And there's like a cutscene with some people talking about it and things like that. And then you go do your league fight. And it's like, that's it. And then you fight your champion, you become the champion, roll credits, end game, lots of laughter and clapping, you know? And it finishes. And it's it's like the actual right sort of climactic ending, in that nothing got better than this, but by God, we're getting close. Whereas a lot of the other games had a very sort of awkwardly paced ending, in that, like, because it happens just before the 8th gym, or like whatever, like, you know how the crisis normally happens like just before or just like as the 8th gym? And it happens kind of like awkwardly, and then it's like, so you finish defeating the thing that's going to destroy the world, and then you go on to finish your badge quest, you get the last badge, you fight the league. And it kind of has a bit of an awkward slump where the game feels like it's almost drawing on a bit too long before the post-game happens. So Sword and Shield didn't do that, in that because it happens right as your champion fight is happening, it goes through that, and then you stop. Okay, see you later, Soren. Have fun.
Bye, Soren.
And then, like I say, you kind of stop, and there's that 3-day time skip, and then you go on to your league fight, and then you finish the game. And it's really good. And yeah, sure, I will genuinely take the fact that the plot wasn't necessarily the best or whatever, but I think it's brilliant. I will take the fact that the post-game was a bit naff, but I thought it was pretty good. It was the sort of silly thing that you kind of want after these 10-year-old kids just helped save the world. Like, it was just the right amount of silly to be still decent, but still serious enough to be a good sort of ending, and it was nice. And it didn't, like, it wasn't so silly that it didn't fit the tone of the game or anything, and it was quite good. And obviously you get your legendary. And okay, one thing I'm going to say about Sword and Shield that I will fight anybody at all who tries to disagree. It straight up has the best rival arc that I have ever seen in any game. And I am including, like, every game. Like, even including Silver. Even including Silver. Yeah, I will, like, Silver is a close second, but Silver only has a good friggin' character arc if you did the Celebi event in SoulSilver Heart Gold. Because if you got the spiky head Pikachu and you did the Silver... the Celebi event where you see about Silver and you see the Giovanni thing. Like, that gives him the best, I think, character arc, and then Hop blew that out of the water. I think that his character arc is the best that Pokemon has done, personally. Everybody else pales in comparison. He's such an annoying piece of shit through so much of the game that it makes it a wonderful resolution. It's genuinely, like, I don't want to say anything about it because it's such a good fucking resolution that it's, like, horrible trying to be. Yeah, yeah, that's the one thing out of the entire game that I am reluctant to spoil because it's incredibly good. It's so good, and I love it. I'm so glad, because that's the thing, you start this game and he's such an annoyance, and, like, the speedrunners put it really well when they play it in that, like, he doesn't shut up. He will give you, like, he'll make comments if you land a super effective hit, or a critical hit, or, like, loads of things like that. Kind of like how, what's his fucking name? How? From Gen 7? Like, he does that sometimes, I think. He popped in with, like, a text box if you landed certain hits. And it was, like, like, you got a full cutscene with Hop, where the screen would change and his face would pop up and he'd do, like, a pose thing and, like, talk about it, and it's fucking ridiculous. And he's adorable, but he's horrible. Because the thing with Hop is the younger brother of Leon, the champion. So the entire game, he's trying to live up to Leon's expectations by being part of this gym challenge, being your rival, trying to win. And, he gets such a good character arc by the end, and especially the post-game arc is genuinely the best thing I have ever had the honour of working with on a rival. Like, originally Silver was my favourite, you'd think it'd be like Barry, considering I bash off Gen 4 like nobody's business, but no, like Silver was genuinely one of the ones with my favourite goddamn character arc, because he goes from this piece of shit asshole to the second you know like anything about his backstory with Giovanni as his dad and all that, he's like, holy crap, I think I just found my new god.
What?
Oh, whoops, did you not know about that? Okay, I'll explain that one in a minute. So yeah, anyway, that post-game in Sword and Shield is kind of the best thing I've ever seen in my life for a character arc. And then you know what happened? We got DLC. And it's like, even better. We didn't, like, yeah, sure, the post-game was a bit lacking and people might have complained. And then we got DLC. And like, sure, the DLC is a bit like a glorified fetch quest in some ways. It's literally like a... It's literally like the first DLC with the Isle of Armor is kind of like a do 3 things quest, and then it's a fight quest, and then it's another fight quest, and it's a bit but it's still a post game, and it's actually pretty good. And I like the rival arc with that. Avery, I played Shield, so Avery was mine, the psychic one with the big fucking top hat. He's great.
Right.
Like again, he has a really close cutting rival arc, and it's really good for the short space of time you get, because he goes from being a bit of an asshole, kind of like Silver. He has kind of a Silver arc, but in a very short space of time. He goes from being a bit of an asshole to being quite nice and kind of humble, and he's quite cute. I like him a lot. I don't know about the other character, but from what I understand, she has the same sort of arc. But I know nothing about her because I haven't played the Sword DLC. So yeah, but it's the same arc from what I understand, just with a different character. And it's really good. Like I say, it's like Silver's game arc, but packed into a bit of a smaller space than the entire region of a game. And honestly, like, yeah, sure. The Crown Tundra is a bit depressing in that it is literally fetch quests and legendary hunting, basically. You get the quest for Calyrex, and that's basically the most interesting thing. And then you've got the 3 birds and the 2 new Reggies. And then there's like the track some of the different legendaries around, and there's the raid dens. So it's not like the best thing in the world, but it is DLC, and it is pretty good. Like, all things considered, as a post-game. When you consider that a lot of the post-games for some of these others have been, like, basically just the battle frontier and nothing else. Like, Jesus Christ, Sword and Shield was a breath of fresh air.
I wonder what the next games are gonna be like.
Yeah, because that's the interesting part, is we're actually on... Yeah, here's the thing that's going to make everybody feel old. Sun and Moon and the 20th anniversary was fucking 5 years ago. We're on the 25th anniversary this year.
Oh, Christ.
I know, I realised that recently and I hate it.
Games, have they?
Pardon?
They haven't even announced the next games,
No, we haven't had anything. It's kind of great. We've had theoretically credible rumours about Diamond and Pearl, which I believe we kind of talked about that last week.
Oh, yeah.
But
that would be a good remake, though, still.
Yeah. And yeah, to go to what was said by Knight in the chat, Gary Blue Green, like that character, his payoff is really good, but it's because it takes a generation to do that I kind of put it a bit awkwardly.
Yeah. But then again, cramming an entire character arc and personality resolution and all that shit into one game that theoretically, the course of this stuff only happens within a few months.
Yeah, because that's the thing. That is part of the reason that I like Silver's arc, and actually I am really fond of the Gen 1 rival arc and like how that worked out, because I like that he kind of only gets his resolution in the league room. I like that you have to beat him as champion as he sort of, and that's when he comes to his realization. Because
Right.
it's fitting as well. Like it's a friggin' 10-year-old. That's the other thing. Like he's 10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like the fact that these rivals and these people are like, they're 10 years freaking old, but they're having these like huge like personality shifts and character development and stuff like this at 10.
I mean, in all fairness, if you ended up fighting God, I'm pretty sure you'd have a friggin' different characteristic, wouldn't you?
Well, no, I'm not complaining about that. I'm saying it's like, actually, I don't know where I was going with this anymore.
I kind of get what you were trying to say. Like, it seems a bit unbelievable if... It's believable but unbelievable, I suppose. It's a bit awkward to explain, but, like, it seems...
Hold on a second.
Yeah, go ahead. I should
No, I
probably...
meant continue. I just can't respond.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, continue.
No, all I was doing then was taking a moment to get my voice to calm down a bit because I've been talking a lot, I realise.
Yeah. No. Like, Carabo's right. Like, at 10, it's easier to change one's beliefs than at, like, 30 or something. But also, how fast and how seemingly gracefully it happens. Like, there's almost no backsliding. There's no, this or that. It's just, oh, you're right. I was a freaking idiot this whole time. I made many mistakes. And then, boom, they're better.
Yeah, I'm nodding frantically.
Better people.
Yeah, I'm nodding frantically, and that's because that's part of what I first of all love about Black and White. Because from what I can remember, Black and White, the characters are actually older. They're actually like 12 or so, which makes the fact that in Black and White 2, you've got these like, because Sharon and Bianca are like 14, therefore, in those games, because they're 2 years later. And one of them's running a gym, and the other one's basically a Pokemon professor, and it's a bit like weird, but it's a bit more legitimate than the 12-year-olds. But then again, we've also seen some stupid bullshit in those games with kids running gyms and stuff, so we can believe it. But
and what? One of the weird things is, okay, so I think I was playing X or Y on an emulator, and who's that kid who fucking runs the gym in the Paris analog?
Yeah, Clement.
Yeah, he's like, what, 8?
Yeah, he's like such a kid. He's such a kid. He's in the anime and he's amazing. Like, genuinely, he's fucking ridiculous, but he is genuinely like our age, sort of thing. Like, in-game our age, like, what the fuck, you're like a child, and you're running a gym.
You're a literal child, but you're running a gym and you're solving, like, this entire massive city's power issues, and you're doing this, and your little sister fucking idolizes you, and you're keeping up with all of this, and you're not breaking down from the stress. How?
I personally believe that kid tested out of school at like 5 years old. Honestly, because like there's no way he does this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's like literally I'm 30 years old, and if I had half the responsibilities you do, I would be having a mental breakdown twice a day. Just regularly scheduled. Oh, it's 2:00 time for my mental breakdown for the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, to be fair to Knight over there, I don't actually know exactly what the ages are, but I just remember that they were like older than 10 in Black and White, and that 2 years passed between Black and White 1 and Black and White 2. So if they're 16, that might be the case, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But I just remember that they weren't 10 in the first games. Yeah, literally, he had to have tested out of school, like, before he went to school. But yeah, that is pretty much what I mean, Care, and that's where I'm going to go on to. I can go on a fan rant about the Gen 2/Gen 4 rival Silver, literally for months, because he's incredible and I love him. Like, he's genuinely amazing. Like, I genuinely, like, I joke about Gen 4 being best gen. Gen 4 is best gen, because Platinum happened, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver gave me my actual favourite rival in anything. I hated him the first time I ran into him, and again, I am like, what, 9 when these games came out? When did they come out? 2008?
Something like that.
So I wasn't even anywhere near 9, was I? No, I would have been like 7. Yeah, that's legit. I was about 7 when I played these. So yeah, child over here, playing that fucking game. Hated that kid. Silver was a bitch. I can't remember what I named him, but I don't think it was particularly like a decent name, because I thought he was an idiot and I hated him.
Fair.
Because, you know, that's what kids do. You name your rival something silly and mean so you can laugh at it.
Right.
And yeah, like, you've played this game, you know his story, you know how that goes, yeah? You kind of know...
I mean, I didn't know he was freaking Giovanni's kid, but
yeah,
sure.
that's something that you only get out of a fucking event thing, and that's something I will happily explain, because it's an event that I missed as well. I had to learn about it after the fact. From a fucking theory video, because they were talking about which of the goddamn Team Rocket admins was his mum. I think we came to the conclusion that it was the redhead one that is a pain in the ass in, I think, the radio tower.
I choose to believe that, Silver's mom is Delia Ketchum, because, if you are a redhead and then you start going gray, it starts turning a sort of dirtyish pale brown.
Fair enough.
So...
I can take that.
I choose to believe that Silver's mom is Delia Ketchum, and Red and Ash are half-siblings.
Yeah, I'd believe that.
Or not Red.
Silver.
Sorry.
I'd believe that. That sounds like a fanfic. I'd believe that. That's the thing. It does sound like a fanfic, but it also sounds legitimate. That's the best part. Like, I've seen weirder shit pulled out of the fanfiction world's ass, so I'd believe that. But yeah.
Well, and I know that if you are a certain type of redhead, then when you start going gray, it changes colors to a sort of pale, dirtyish, blondish brown. Because one of my second cousin had red hair. Yeah. And it started doing that when she got older.
Huh, cool. There's a the more you know moment for the day. You know, aside from my literally 45-minute rant on Pokemon games. That was a long fucking ramble. Oh boy, I am very sorry.
No, we like it. Continue.
Yeah, so, Silver. We know his story from the games, and that's the reason I love him, is he doesn't get a fluffy ending. Mm-hmm. Your last sort of time seeing him, from what I can recall, he is kind of backsliding a little in the supervillainy, and he's never really out of it. He's still kind of a villainy kid. He's not evil, and he is trying to do a pretty good thing in that he just wants to punch Team Rocket in the gob. Which, I mean, that's what you're doing as well. It's just that he's a prick about it, basically. That's the only problem that we have, is he's actually doing an okay thing. It's just that he's a dickhead about how he tries to do it. And like the way he treats Pokemon is a bit rude and all that, and he's a bit like not great, but he means well. He is literally troubled child, and it's legitimate because of his backstory, which I'll get to in a sec. And he gets an okay like resolution, and the last time you see him, he's getting better. He's not got his like superhero resolution. He's not suddenly 180 good guy, but he is trying. And that's the thing, because again, these kids are like 10, 11. He's about your age, so he's like 10, 11, 12, I think, from what I can recall of the canon. So it's like, yeah, it's legitimate. He's not necessarily going to be doing a 180, but he's doing his best. And that, honest to God, that reaction that I got from you earlier when I let that slip, that is the reason that I'm pissed off at the Pokemon Company about this character. You don't get this resolution in Gen 2. At all. And Gen 4, it required an event. So.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Yeah, to explain the event, there was this thing once upon a time called the Pikachu-coloured Pichu. It was basically a shiny Pichu. Mm-hmm. And I'm spitballing this a bit. From what I understand, that you get that, and you would take that to the Elix Forest Shrine.
Right.
And you would encounter a spiky-haired Pichu. You know, like the one from the Arceus movie? The one that, what's his name, Deimos has? Where it has the cute, like, patched ear. It's kind of adorable. Yeah. So you get one of those. And I believe that is, to this day, the only way to get one of those, by the way. So I don't have one, because, again, I was like 7, and I missed this event. And then you take those to it, and you can get a Celebi, I think. Or you take them there, and you activate an event. Yeah, the anime shorts have it now, officially, but aside from those anime shorts, the only way to learn it is this fucking event. Because you would get into some sort of event with a Celebi, and it would take you through time. And you'd see an incident. Yeah, one of the, not on Fluttering Wings, but it was one of the 20th anniversary ones, I think, so it's kind of old now, had Looker talking to Giovanni about, to Silver about it, and it's really good. I should watch that again, I might do that tomorrow. Because again, he is incredible and I love Silver. Like, if I ever sit down and actually finish one of the fics that I'm writing that actually would actually get to Johto, Jesus Christ, he's going to have such a good time in that, because I have so many things lined up for Silver in that region.
Speaking of movies and tomorrow, should we put the Pokemon movies on the list?
Why the hell not? They're good films.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, why not?
I'll do that.
Would be fun. But yeah, so you get to this event with the Celebi, and it takes you through time to the other end of a phone. From what I can remember, you go to the other end of a phone conversation with Silver, first of all, or like a conversation that Silver is having with Giovanni where he yells at him about it. And I believe I think it's explicitly mentioned that he like actually yells at him about him being his dad. And then Celebi takes you to another area where because throughout the entirety of the Gen 2 4 games, Giovanni isn't around, and that's the entire point of the games, is Team Rocket is trying to get back into contact with Giovanni after the loss that he had at the hands of Kanto protagonist. right? You know
Right.
that? So
Yeah, yeah.
it takes you to some area behind a waterfall somewhere where Giovanni is there with an old radio, and you have a conversation with him, and then the radio cuts in, and I think it's because I think this is taking place during the radio tower takeover, and then Giovanni leaves the cave. And there's an incredibly persistent theory that that's like Giovanni committing suicide or something, because you never hear from him again, first of all, and there is like a splash outside, and people assume that that's him like killing himself, and I'm like, hey,
Jesus.
it's the Pokemon fandom back again with their grimdark shit.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
But yeah, like,
Nice.
up to the point where the anime shorts came out on the Pokemon YouTube channel, that was the only way to find out that Giovanni had a kid, and that kid was Silver from these games, and honest to God, the first time I saw that was on YouTube, and it blew my fucking mind, and then made me cry for 10 minutes, because I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is my favourite character.
Yeah, no, that's legit. That's damn.
It's great. I'll have to find it at some point. I'll see if I can find both the short and the actual event, like the event cutscenes and stuff, because they're really good. But yeah, it is. He's such a good character. Like, he has such a good arc. And like I say, up until Hop happened, he was like the best rival arc I'd ever seen. And it wasn't even because of the depth. Like, I didn't have any idea of the depth of the development for a lot of it, but it's the fact that he doesn't actually change all that much, and yet he's got such a deep development that makes me love him.
Right.
Because, like, at the beginning of the game, he's a prick. And the end of the game, when you'll see him the last time, he's still a bit of a prick. But he's trying, and you can see that he's trying. Yeah, there is a random-ass NPC in one of the areas that says that Giovanni has a kid who's a redhead in Fire Red Leaf Green. And it's like,
Damn.
that's it. That's your information on getting the fact that this is his kid. And it's like, Jesus Christ, the amount of luck. I'll have to find that dialogue as well, because honestly I don't remember that, because I've never actually spent that much time with them. But like, yeah, it is mentioned from what I can remember. And it's like, wow. That's it. That's what you're giving us, Game Freak. I really want Gen 2... Like, if they give us a Let's Go Gen... This is part of the reason why I'd be perfectly happy with the Let's Go Gen 2 games. And it's because I really want to see what they do to Silver. Because Let's Go Kanto, essentially, was not the original story, but it had some of the original story characters, because you had Blue show up at one point, didn't you? I think, as the grandson. He doesn't show up as, like, the gym leader or anything, he shows up as Professor Oak's grandkid. And I liked that quite a bit, because it's a tie-in without it being, like, a revamp, and it's quite nice. If I get handed Let's Go Gen 2 this year, dear God, they better give me Silver content, because I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Let's Go Kanto is yellow through a blender. That is totally legit, to be honest, because that is kind of just what that game is. It was yellow put in a bit of a blender and mixed with some of the Gen 2 content, and it was a bit of a mess, but it worked okay.
I kind of think I need to play Let's Go now, actually.
It was quite good, actually. I will definitely take it as a game. It was pretty good. Definitely not like my favourite in the series. That still goes to, like, Platinum and these games and Sword and Shield. Like, that kind of is how that stacks up. But they are very much up there. They're very good. So yeah, that's kind of a whirlwind tour through me fighting my way through a lot of Pokemon attachment. It's been 13 years now for me, and that's not a lot compared to a lot of people, because some people have been there through the entire thing, as Care has said. But like, it's been a really big part of my life, and like that was pretty much kind of a whirlwind tour through a hell of a lot of my opinions from starting from the games that I started with, I suppose, which is kind of a fun way of spending my evening, I suppose. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's been interesting listening to you, because I started with Red when I was in 5th grade. So, like, 1995, I guess. Oh, fuck, that makes me sound so old. Anyway, and I love Pokemon. Like, I love Pokemon so much. But hearing it from somebody else's point of view, like, especially somebody who's as willing to rant as you are, which is absolutely fantastic, and I love it.
My voice is slightly dead now, but whatever. I'm willing to pay that price. That was really worth it.
it's really, really cool to listen to this because, like, you're bringing up lore and stuff that I don't know about because I just was never able to regularly do events or anything.
Yeah, that's actually something that's kind of funny. Up until about Gen 6, where a lot of the online events started, I wasn't able to do a lot of the events either because I was so young and I didn't have internet access very much, and so I didn't know like Cerebi or Bulbapedia or whatever the fuck, so I didn't really have the ability to look up that these events were happening. So I learned about a lot of this after the fact from places like Game Theory and like random YouTube channels, and just bored on the internet one day reading something and found it. I genuinely couldn't tell you how I learned about the whole Giovanni has a kid thing, but I saw it on a video one time and it blew my mind because I looked at it and I think I was looking into some events, like old events, and it just came up and I was like, what? And I just started looking and it was like, huh.
Holy shit, Giovanni's got a kid.
Yeah, this is an entire arc that I had no idea about, and it changes the view of the character, because Silver's no longer like this kind of rebel kid who's trying to fight Team Rocket, but he's not doing it very well and he's a bit of a bitch. He's a kid who probably hasn't necessarily had the best life given how the event implies it. Like, Giovanni seems to have tried his best with him, but he's a mob boss first and foremost, and then he vanishes in the aftermath of the Red and Blue games, and
right.
Silver...
It's literally like this kid who is set to inherit this mafia setup kind of thing,
and he doesn't want it because of what it's done with his dad.
Yeah, exactly. And that, oh my god, that's
yeah,
mind-blowing.
It gives him such a... And yeah, like, I can't see Giovanni as a parent either, but like, I've read enough fan fiction in both directions at this point that it kind of fills the gaps in both ways, and it's amazing because it gives both Silver and Giovanni such a different character perspective, and it's incredible. And it really upsets me that if you hadn't been able to get to the spiky haired, the Pikachu event for that, the Pichu event, and you hadn't been able to do the Celebi event, you wouldn't have known about that until the friggin' videos came out. And that was like, what, 2016, I think, because they were the 20th anniversary stuff during that. So that's years, because these games came out in like 2000. That's so long. And yet the manga has it as well. So like, if you didn't get exposed to the manga, and like I didn't, because I've never seen the fucking Silver manga at all. Like, if you didn't get exposed to the manga, if you didn't get that event, the first thing you heard about this was that video. It's incredible. And if Found Knight over there wants to talk about the manga, please do, because I am actually very curious about the manga relationship for these two, because I've never seen that. One of these days I might finally be able to go into the city again and find the manga, because there was a shop in town that sold this stuff, and I have never been allowed to buy any of it because my parents didn't think I'd read it. Fun fact, kiddos. You underestimate the amount of friggin' excessiveness that I have towards the lore of the universes that I like. I'd read it. Yeah, I could probably find it online, to be fair. That would probably take less effort. I'm supposed to have classwork to do.
I'm pretty sure I could see Giovanni as being an absentee parent who, like, tried to make up for the lack of his presence by sending really extravagant gifts or spending a lot of money on him.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, that's fair care as well, about, like, specifically canon with no fanfic influences. You kind of have to acknowledge that the fanfic is going to give a lot of bias to some of my views. Oh, really? That's actually... Okay, yeah, that definitely goes places with it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that goes places.
And that goes a lot of places.
Yeah, and now that we're talking about fires and stuff, here's one that I'm gonna bring up. Y'all know Mewtwo?
Yeah.
And I've gotta open it like that specifically, just because that's kind of the best way to open it. So you know, like the Mewtwo lab thing with the whole setting the lab on fire, and then he escapes from Giovanni. I'm curious what the fuck Silver knows about all of that. Like that's one thing I'm curious about.
Well, consider Amber too. What if Silver was there sometimes and would just talk to Amber too?
Yeah, like that's somebody who exists, and fuck me, I'm making headcanons for a fanfic while I'm working on shiny hunting something at this point. Oh well, this fic will eventually get finished, I promise. It's just that I'm very lazy.
I'm gonna have to go. I need to grab something to eat.
That's
you
fair.
can explain Amber 2 to Care.
Amber 2? Oh boy, yeah, that's a thing that I only know the very minimum about, and most of what I do know comes from the fact that I saw a passing reference in a fanfic one time and looked it up. So, from what I understand, it's either manga canon, or it's from a special edition part of the original Mewtwo Strikes Back DVD. So, you know, old lore. So, this kind of all starts out with, Dr. Fuji, if you remember him. You might. From what I remember, he's the guy that's basically behind Mewtwo, aside from Giovanni. And the cloning thing all starts because his kid dies. Her name is Amber, and he tries to clone her. And it doesn't work. And then eventually it does, and what comes out of that? Yes, she's from the Japanese version. That's right, yes. That's it. I knew it was from like some kind of edition that didn't quite make it out to the rest of the world, but I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, she's like one of the batches from... So like there's Mewtwo, there's the 2 versions of the original Kanto starters, and there's Amber. And from what I can remember, Mewtwo is the only one that survives the process or whatever, and then they had like kind of a bond with each other, and it was a bit strange. I don't know too much about it, honestly. I had a friend that knew a lot about this, to the point where like a friend sat down and explained this to me because they had a fanfic they wanted to write using this concept, and they were like, can you help? And I'm like, yeah, probably. You're gonna have to explain the whole situation though, because I don't know about this one. I still have that fanfic sitting somewhere on a dock, actually. It got started, and then it didn't finish, but the concept of the idea was that Ash was also a clone from that incident, and Dahlia ends up adopting him. There was something about Dahlia being like a league trainer that was really powerful as well. It was a bit weird. It was pretty good, actually. I kind of liked the concept, and I wish it had gotten finished, but I may or may not have lost contact with said friend. So, that's probably never getting finished. Oh well. If it does, I'll let you know, because it was actually kind of cool. It was weird as fuck, but it was kind of cool. I have the notes still, so I actually probably could finish it. Yeah, I just said it was a fanfic. It was fucking weird. Like I say though, I have the notes, so I probably could finish writing it someday, but yeah. Yeah, well unfortunately I don't know the canon for this, so I thought I'd just refer to this fanfic that I remembered from a while back. But yeah, I don't know much about Amber 2 or any of that actually, because it was one of those things that didn't pop up very often. So, yeah. Like I say, a lot of what my canon knowledge is the games itself, whatever the fuck random stuff I have found on YouTube, Bulbapedia, and fanfic osmosis of canon. That's the info I have, basically. So, big shrug, I don't know what necessarily is going on. I probably should stop talking. Ow, my throat. Oh boy, this is what happens when you spend like an hour and a half ranting about your games. Not that I'm complaining, I have certainly done worse. Yeah, that's completely fair. Like I say, I don't know as much of canon as I might like sometimes, so... Like, I know quite a lot, but sometimes I get a bit tangled up, especially when it comes to slightly more obscure bits, like Amber 2, where it didn't quite come out. Oh, excellent, thank you. That's something I want to see. That's my voice giving out on me. Oh god. Hey, could you maybe stop? I possibly need to stop talking. That's possibly a thing that I have just discovered. I possibly need to stop talking for a few minutes and just maybe let my voice calm down. Right, where's this manga page? I'm more interested in that than the shiny hunting at the minute. How's it going? Spoiler zone. Holy crap, that's really cool. Yeah, I am drinking. I'm most of the way through my water bottle, actually. I think if I keep drinking any more, I'm going to need a bathroom break or something. Although, to be fair, I am coming up on nearly the end of my own stream segment. So I'll probably go up... Man, I have done 400 encounters. Or I will have done. Man, that's really cool, actually. Like I say, I didn't know that. But I guess I need to sit down and read the manga now, because I really want to see more of Parent Giovanni. That sounds like a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't have the hydrate ability, so that's a thing. Again, I need like 8 followers or something, and then a couple more days of streaming, and I could probably go for affiliate, and then I could put the hydrate button up. But for that I need 8 followers, and I don't know where I'm going to get those from, so. Yeah, I've never seen the manga. Like I say, I saw some of the, for some odd reason I didn't recall looking at Totodile on that loop, so I did it again. I saw some of it originally, and like I say, it was in the book. It was in like a bookshop down the road. Down the road. It's 20 minutes on the train. Meh. So like I have seen some of it, but I've never read any of it, and it's a bit depressing. I should read it. It does sound like fun. Like, a lot of my knowledge, honestly, for the manga actually does come from Bulbapedia. Because Bulbapedia obviously has those segments that, if you look at, like, a Pokemon's page, it has those segments where it's, like, first appearance in the manga and then explains some stuff. And that's basically where, like, most of my info comes from for the manga, is, like, those segments. So, big shrug. You know, it's only when you stop talking that you realise how annoying that fucking that fucking music is. Yeah, it is fine, but not when you're listening to it on repeat for multiple hours. I mean, not necessarily. For all I know, you've got something else playing over the top of the stream and are just listening to my voice. Which, by the way, I'm doing a really good job of making sure that my voice gets a bit of a moment to take a break after that. I mean, assuming Kali gets back from her food before I end the stream, then I'll just let her take over for a bit, I guess. You know what else I've also just realised? I'm gonna have to go through the VOD for this again to make a note of what the fuck we were talking about for the description. Most of what we spoke about was spoilers. I really hope people don't care. Also, I'm coming to the conclusion that these Saturday night streams are just going to be Pokemon podcast with SoulSilver shiny hunting in the background. Was it? Fuck, I thought Green was in something else, but... No, actually, yeah, I think she was only in Let's Go, wasn't she? Fuck, that's how little I remember the plot of Let's Go, if I'm honest. I didn't actually remember seeing her in Let's Go, but she shows up in, like, Celadon, I think. Really big question mark there, because I don't remember. Okay, that's pretty cool. And that's also fair. But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure, like, my only knowledge of her, really, comes from the fact that I'm pretty sure there's a scene in the manga where she's pretending to have massive boobs and they're actually Pokeballs, and that's literally the only knowledge I have of this person. I don't even know if it's actually the same person or not, but I think that's who it is. And that's literally the only info I have of this character. Yep, thought so. Okay. That and possibly something to do with Mew, but that's pretty much the only thing I remember. Ah, excellent. Yeah, I think we've all just figured out what my new time waster is from now on. Is going to be catching up to the manga. Which, I mean, that's going to take a while. You know, it's only been going for how long now? Actual years? Hey look, it's a piece of greenery. Next. Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Ow. Does anybody get the impression, by the way, that this is maybe going a bit crazy? This is very distinctly just Pix losing her mind, the game. I think I'm probably going to get us up to the 14 mark, 1400, and then I'm going to call it quits, because obviously Kali left for food a bit ago. So I'll call it quits and hopefully still have a voice to use tomorrow. I can see crazy. I have a mirror right behind me. I just have to turn my chair around. Although in all fairness, that mirror is slightly blocked by the massive balloon that I have in my room currently. I can still see myself in that mirror from turning my chair, so... works for me. So does anyone want to place some bets on the last 9 encounters giving me a shiny? Because that will absolutely kill my voice if I get a shiny and react to it. It'll hurt, but whatever. If I get one, I get one. If anyone does place bets on it being one of these last few, though, I'm going to cry a little bit because, unexpected. Oh god, yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Original green was Gary, because he had a different name depending on what game you were playing or some shit, wasn't it? That was a thing. Cause it's like, you only have blue because we got Pokemon red and blue. And then... But everybody else got green because they got red and green. Or Japan got green because they got red and green, something like that. You're wrong, but your reasoning is consistent. Yeah, that's always a good situation. Consistently wrong is far better than inconsistently wrong. Two more encounters and then we'll call it quits for an evening, and we can take our incredible discourse about whether or not these characters... What on earth killed that? Okay, allow please, because that's stupid. There you go. Continue on. Anyway, that's an impressive fuck up for the very end of the stream via auto mod over there. Don't know why that decided. Yeah, that is what it highlighted as being the problematic word, which is pretty good. Really, well done. Auto mod does it again. Alright, good news everyone. You don't have to listen to my voice anymore. We've now hit 1400, which is actually quite an impressive amount of encounters for the day, really, because god damn, I was not actually expecting to go for that many. I was going to do like 200 and call it quits like normal. And then it was like, okay, let's just maybe go for forever. That's fair. Yeah, Lyra is an interesting character, isn't she? But yeah, so, okay. We're gonna call it quits for here. I am going to go spend the rest of the night sitting quietly, probably. Assuming that I don't accidentally end up in a voice chat for some reason. I am gonna do my absolute best to sit my ass down and not talk for the rest of the evening, so that my voice can possibly still exist tomorrow. So yeah. So yeah, everybody, I am going to, I will continue drinking in an attempt to ensure that my voice doesn't die. And then probably I'll see you again Wednesday. All being well and me not having too much work to do. I will see you then, and we can do another stream, and it'll all be nice and great. Whether or not that Wednesday stream is more shiny hunting, or I go play Pokemon Red. I go play Pokemon Blue Rescue Team. I know what I'm doing. We'll figure that one out when I actually sit down to start the stream. Possibly I'll start the stream with one and then move on to the other like I did the other day. Until then, yeah, ta-ta a bit, everybody. I shall see you around. Bye-bye.